The great wave of magical technology. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 501, Gathering of Experts. There was a figure in the sky. General Lexus had walked out of the skeleton ship Legend. His hair was full of black hair and dancing wildly. He was like an abyss and an ocean, giving people an endless sense of oppression. He was as imposing as 100,000 mountains, making people a little breathless. At this moment, General Lexus's cheeks and forehead were not only covered with the words of the Destruction Clan, but also his exposed chest and arms were full of dense and strange characters. The breath of destruction was lingering, and his eyes were emitting black light. I'm afraid that the crystal of the world doesn't want to recognize you as its master. It's better for me to conquer it. He rushed towards the crystal of the world. The crystal of the world is mine, and no one can change it. General Jax looked indifferent and stared at Lexus. From time to time, masters flew across the laser-like plane. All of them flew in one direction, obviously heading for the crystal of the world. Almost everyone present had left, but Yunfan found a relatively secluded place and continued to refine the world crystal. As the world crystal was refined, he sensed a trace of strange fluctuations. The location of the three generals and the fourth general of the Destruction Clan and the fake world crystal was in his mind. It's time to solve the problem. The sound of masters breaking through the air was endless, and great masters kept coming from the sky. Yunfan looked at all this and didn't feel much. He strode towards the direction of the three generals and the fourth general of the Destruction Clan. What's going on? Where is the world crystal? An angry roar sounded instantly, followed by a violent breath suddenly transmitted. What's going on? Could it be that the world crystal is fake and has been discovered? Yunfan was slightly surprised. Die. Because they found that the world crystal was fake, the three generals and the fourth general of the Destruction Clan were like crazy, violently attacking the people around them. The murderosaur filled the whole world. The murderosaur seemed to materialize. The sword made of the aura of destruction killed all the masters who tried to approach them. The aura of Demon Slayer roared, making waves, crushing the earth, rolling in. A strong aura of destruction surged like a tsunami, destroying everything it touched. In the distance, everyone took a breath of cold air, and many people changed color. The strength of the three generals and the four generals of the Destruction Clan had far exceeded their expectations. Run! Someone suddenly shouted, and some masters with slightly weaker strength all ran away. At this moment, no one knew how many masters had come, and no one knew how many people wanted to escape from this place. Destroy the world. The three generals of the Destruction Clan were covered with dense words of destruction all over their bodies, and the divine light of destruction bloomed. The words on his body seemed to have almost life. The momentum was like a rainbow, rushing straight into the sky. The surging aura of destruction was surging like an endless sea. All the professionals and masters could not get close to it. Those masters who were a little closer were all turned into ashes by the boundless aura of destruction at the first time. Damn it, it has been sealed for so many years. Why is this guy still so powerful? Everyone, how long are you going to wait? Do you want all our men to die? Such a cold voice came from not far away, but it was clearly transmitted to every corner, making many professionals feel trembling. Yes, it is indeed time to take action, otherwise it will be difficult to explain to the gods. At this time, another soft voice came. Everyone could only hear the conversation between the two people, but could not determine where the two people were. In this case, let's start. At this time, a voice came from another piece of sky, and every word seemed to be transmitted directly to everyone's brain without passing through people's ears. The thunderous void was also filled with a shocking voice. In this case, let's do it. We will forcibly kill the Destruction Clan, so as not to hurt innocent people. Everyone retreat. An old voice full of murderosaur came out, shaking like a tsunami, causing the earth to tremble. Without seeing the person, only hearing his voice, every word said by the legendary big man was awe-inspiring, like thunder rumbling, shocking everyone present, and these people present could not help but retreat to the distance. These legendary big men never thought that things would develop to this point. It seems that the fishermen can no longer benefit, so they don't want to wait any longer. As time goes by, the 3 generals of the Destruction clan will have more and more perfect control over themselves, and their strength will become stronger and stronger. 6 space vortices suddenly appeared in the sky, and then 6 figures walked out of the vortex. Even though he was thousands of meters away, Yunfan still felt the horrifying fluctuations coming from these people. He was awed in his heart and quickly retreated without any hesitation. Not long after, there were bursts of earth-shaking noises from the location of the 3 generals of the Destruction clan, which made people tremble in their souls. The divine light composed of various attribute forces intertwined together broke through the clouds and penetrated the heaven and earth. Endless divine power surged out, and the brilliant light rushed in all directions like a whirlwind. Many professionals were like duckweed and were directly blown away by the energy waves. Yunfan had retreated far enough, but was still affected. Boom. The momentum of these people is so strong. In the distance, Yunfan was very frightened. He was still very confident in his own defense, but the airwaves generated by the collision between the 2 sides made him feel frightened. Everyone has ignited the divine fire and reached the peak state of demigods. Their momentum is naturally strong. If these people were in the gods continent, each of them would be a god level master. Sakadin said. The strength of this demigod peak is too terrifying. Because of the existence of the world rules, they cannot break through. If they exist, it has been endless years. When they explode, they will naturally have such power. However, it is conceivable how powerful the 3 generals of the Destruction clan are. I didn't expect that we have to thank the world rules now. If it weren't for the world rules, we wouldn't be your opponents. But if it weren't for the world rules, we would have become gods and ancestors long ago. Now there are only 8 people left. Their bodies can't be seen clearly. There are only 8 groups of dazzling light floating there. One of them is very nervous. Sigh. Chapter 502 6-Party Battle Formation. It's all because of you bastards. If it weren't for you, how many people would have achieved the status of gods in these tens of millions of years? But this general of the Destruction clan is really powerful. He has been sealed for so many years, and I'm afraid he is not even 1/10,000th of his heyday. He still has such terrible power. Just thinking about it is shocking. Although the 6 demigod peak figures said this, they did not stop there. Instead, they gathered all their divine power and launched a more fierce and domineering attack. Boom, the power of the gods came like a galaxy, and the world was filled with all kinds of light. Endless divine light was impacting, and the vast power of destruction was surging. The whole world seemed to be boiling. The battle between the 2 sides was so fierce that even the aftermath could injure ordinary masters. All other professionals stayed away from there, and no one dared to stay. The 6 demigod peak strongmen continued to attack, offering their divine weapons, and confronted the 3 generals of the Destruction clan. The whole world was shaking. Endless divine light and terrifying destructive power continued to rush in all directions. It was unknown how long it took, and how many times they attacked, before they managed to force the 3 generals of the Destruction clan back. Boom. I didn't expect you youngsters to be so powerful. The 6 top demigod masters joined forces again, and attacked with a powerful blow. Divine power of various attributes condensed in the air, condensing the energy and power of the 6 demigods, and finally injured the 3 generals of the Destruction clan. Old 4, aren't you ready to attack? Seeing the words of the 3 generals of the Destruction clan, the 4th general Lexus attacked brazenly, and a breath of destruction burst out from his body, rushing in all directions. The addition of the 4 generals made the already tense battle situation even more unpredictable. The 6 top demigods, who had originally had some advantages, showed a decadent trend. The battle between the 8 demigods was earth-shattering. Every move and every form contained their understanding of the essence of the gods. Every move was earth-shattering and unpredictable. The vast divine power instantly swept across the entire Lazelic plane. At that moment, all the professionals who had not escaped were trembling. Many of them even had difficulty maintaining their flying state, and fell directly from mid-air. An unspeakable palpitation made people breathless. The majestic pressure was simply irresistible. Many professionals with slightly weaker strength could not help but shudder. Even the divine punishment knights and temple masters of the Temple Alliance who were hiding deeply were full of bitterness on their faces. They never thought that there were still these 6 masters hidden on the continent. Although they were all demigod level strongmen, these people had already ignited the divine fire and were essentially different from them. Is this the terrible power of the demigods who ignited the divine fire? The divine power was displayed, shaking the earth and the sky. All living beings were terrified and panicked. This change made the long silent continent lively. The entire continent was in chaos. 6-sided battle formation. At this critical moment, 6 top demigods actually formed a battle formation. With the help of the battle formation, they injured the arrogant 3 generals of the Destruction Clan with one blow, and a monstrous divine power burst out, raging in all directions. 6-sided battle formation? What is your relationship with that old guy, the Sword God? Our ancestors were generals under the Lord Sword God, and they once killed millions of Destruction Clan. The 3rd and 4th generals of the Destruction Clan looked at each other, and their expressions became more serious than ever. 3rd brother, these little bastards are quite powerful. Under this damn rule, I'm afraid it will be difficult for us to take advantage. Otherwise, how about we retreat first? Said the 4th general of the Destruction Clan. The 3rd general hesitated for a moment. He had just broken through the seal, and his strength was greatly reduced. Now was not the time to fight hard. Okay, let's leave here first, and deal with these little guys later. As the 3rd general finished speaking, there was a rumbling sound, and the rocks not far away completely collapsed. Then the 3rd and 4th generals turned into a black mist and flew away. Damn it. At the same time, the 6 demigod level peak powerhouses all went in the direction where the 3rd and 4th generals left. The divine power on their bodies was extremely bright and dazzling, illuminating the world like a round of sun. Okay, 6th brother, there's no need to chase them. Brother, are we just going to watch the 3rd and 4th generals of the Destruction Clan leave? What if we don't watch them leave? How likely do you think it is that we can completely get rid of them if we join forces? Well, although the 6 of us form a battle formation and have a slight advantage if we really fight to the death. After all, they are the 3rd and 4th generals of the Destruction Clan. They must have a killer weapon in their hands. Besides, have you forgotten our ancestral teachings? You mean that day should not be far away. The descendant of Lord Sword God is said to have appeared. That prophecy, the departure of the 3rd and 4th generals of the Destruction Clan made Yunfan breathe a sigh of relief. His current strength was too weak. Even with the help of the World Crystal, he was not sure he could get rid of the 3rd and 4th generals. Has the Crystal of the World really been mastered by the 3 generals of the Destruction Clan? Who has mastered the Crystal of the World? Is the appearance of the Crystal of the World a fake? Except for Yunfan, everyone was full of doubts, but they did not give up. After the 3 and 4 generals of the Destruction Clan left, the masters who originally wanted to leave stopped and began to search for something. After a series of battles, the entire Lake Plain was already in ruins, with broken stones everywhere. Why is the Crystal of the World missing? The masters of various major forces all showed doubtful looks and kept scanning and searching with powerful mental power. The best strategy is to run away. The Crystal of the World finally fell into his hands. I'm afraid no one expected it. If he stayed here, if something happened, he would have no place to cry. Just when Yunfan was about to leave the Lake Plain, a space fluctuation caught his attention, and then a figure walked out of the space fluctuation. Yunfan looked up and saw that it was the mysterious boy who led him here. The mysterious young man looked at Yunfan meaningfully and praised. Not bad, not bad. You have indeed been recognized by the Crystal of the World. It is worth bringing you here. Who are you? Why did you give me the Crystal of the World? Chapter 503 Alien Team. Yunfan was full of doubts. You will understand some things later. Remember one thing, don't let the people in the temple know that you have obtained the world crystal, otherwise they will definitely do whatever it takes. Who are you? What do you want to do? It doesn't matter who I am. You will know who I'm later. After saying that, the young man disappeared without a trace through the space vortex again. Yunfan was very upset. He hated the feeling of being dominated by others. Yunfan left the Lake Plain and soon met a human team. Seeing Yunfan alone, the members of this team enthusiastically invited him to join the team. Yunfan thought about it for a while and decided to go with this team. The incident in the laser lake plane was too big, so many alien races went to the laser lake plane. So when they were traveling together, they naturally met a tribe of alien races. Perhaps because these alien races did not get any benefits, most of the alien races were holding back a fire in their hearts. When they met the weak human race, they always wanted to vent. Damn human race, I didn't expect you to dare to take risks in the laser lake plane. Who gave you the courage? When the team was sneaking, the people in the team suddenly heard a violent roar. The human team and others couldn't help but look in the direction of the sound. After seeing the people coming, the leader suddenly stepped back and planned to take Yunfan and other members of the team away from this place. Damn, we actually met the barbarians. Let's leave immediately. You met us, do you still want to escape? Surrender obediently, so as not to suffer. The alien team threatened. This alien team also went to the laser lake plane, but gave up before they went deep. They felt very frustrated that they didn't get any benefits after running so far. So when they saw the human team, where Yunfan was, they couldn't help but have other thoughts. Damn you bastard aliens. Damn you human boy, you dared to curse us, you're really courting death. The leading alien pulled out the long sword hanging from his waist and slashed at the human boy who cursed him. The human boy quickly retreated after avoiding the attack of the alien swordsman in a somewhat awkward manner, but the alien swordsman pressed on, clenched his palms, and slammed into the human boy's head with a ferocious look. At some point, he had retreated to a huge rock behind him, and now there was no escape. At this critical moment, Yunfan could not help but take out the Daoluo sword from the space ring, and then suddenly slashed at the swordsman of that tribe. The fighting spirit suddenly surged out, and then with an indomitable and fierce momentum, he directly chopped the alien swordsman to the ground. When the alien swordsman was chopped to the ground, everyone present could not help but stop. The leading alien saw that his men were so easily dealt with, and immediately became violent. His figure was like a ghost, erratic, and he kept changing directions while approaching Yunfan. When he was about 10 meters away from Yunfan, the alien suddenly waved the black sword in his hand. Then his momentum changed drastically, and he turned into a monster covered with black armor. He had dark brown skin, and was more than 3 meters tall. He rushed towards Yunfan fiercely. The evil warrior is a very powerful alien in the underground world. Its biggest feature is that it can transform, and once it transforms, its strength will double. It is said that a long time ago, they were not in the underground world. They came from the dark abyss of different time and space. As soon as the evil warrior transformed, he rushed towards Yunfan like a beast, holding up his weapon, like a god and a demon dancing wildly. When the human race present saw the evil warrior transform, their faces suddenly changed. They knew the alien races in the underground world very well. This kind of evil warrior was also very rare among the alien races. They were known for their cruelty. Yunfan was shocked when he saw the other party's posture. Without saying a word, he immediately retreated to the back. The Daoluo sword in his hand was mainly used to slash at the evil warrior. The brief confrontation between the Daoluo sword and the alien's broadsword directly suppressed the alien evil warrior. Both the human race and the alien race were a little surprised. They felt that they had guessed the beginning, but they never thought that the strength of the two was completely opposite to what they expected. Yunfan's other hand tightly clenched his fist, but suddenly spread it open. A sudden strong invisible thrust suddenly appeared out of thin air, and finally hit the alien warrior's chest fiercely through the air. The chest was attacked by an inexplicable force, and the alien warrior was directly knocked out. His face turned pale at this moment, and panic flashed in his ferocious eyes. Who are you? How can you be so powerful? Looking at the alien warrior who suddenly flew backwards in the air, many people present were surprised. He is really so powerful. Retracting his palm, Yunfan quickly ran towards the alien, and the Daoluo sword in his hand suddenly slashed a powerful sword at the alien flying backwards. Yunfan is no longer comparable to the past in terms of strength and vision. The alien who was slashed by such a sword had no ability to resist, and was directly killed on the spot. Damn it, you dare to kill our young master. Seeing their captain being killed, the aliens present became extremely furious, gritted their teeth, and looked at Yunfan who was not far away, with a cruel look on their faces. The captain of the alien race who was killed by Yunfan was not a simple person. He was the son of a tribal leader. Looking at this group of aliens indifferently, attacking him, and listening to the sound of breaking wind, Yunfan didn't care at all. Squinting his eyes, feeling the oncoming fierce attack, Yunfan's face gradually became serious. Although he was powerful and didn't take these attacks to heart, the strength of these human beings not far from him was not optimistic. Yunfan stepped hard on the wall with his right foot and changed his position, blocking the human race team. The huge force left a footprint about half an inch deep on the ground. Yunfan's body spun sharply, his right foot stretched into a weird arc of force, and the Daoluo sword in his hand slashed out quickly. Yunfan's face was serious. After his right foot completed the almost perfect accumulation of power in the air, he finally killed all the aliens present with just a sword under the eyes of everyone. Chapter 504. Take action. I didn't expect that brother Yunfan, sir, is so powerful. Yunfan put away the Daoluo sword. Amid the strange looks from the people present, Yunfan shook his head helplessly. I'm just afraid that you will look at me with strange eyes. Do you know where the ancestor of the human race is? Yunfan no longer wanted to hide anything and asked everyone. How can we know the news of the ancestor of the human race? But, we can contact the ancestor's personal guards. Yunfan flipped his hand, and some relatively precious herbs appeared in his hand. It's herbs. Everyone said at the same time. Could these herbs cure the ancestor's injuries? Yunfan nodded slightly, then shook his head. I'm not sure about this. I do have a lot of herbs. I wonder if you have any way to contact the ancestor's guards. Seeing this, the people of the human race said happily, I didn't expect that Lord Yunfan would have such an extraordinary opportunity. I have never seen many of these herbs. With these herbs, even if they can't cure the ancestor's injuries, they should be very helpful. The team leader of this team was also very excited at this moment. Looking at Yunfan, the herbs may be of great help to the owner's injuries and have a long-term impact on the entire human race. We must go back quickly. As long as we return to the tribe, I believe my father can find a way to contact the ancestor's guards. Everything is up to you. Yunfan replied. The journey from the Lake plain to the Langar tribe is long, and it will take 2 or 3 days, even if everyone travels overnight. Night. The bonfire was burning. Yunfan and the members of the team were all by the bonfire. Ulakui was paying attention to the surroundings to prevent encountering some unknown situations. I haven't looked at all the miscellaneous items I got in the Lake plain, especially in the garden realm. Yunfan suddenly remembered that the protective gear he got when he entered the garden realm corridor was too large and complicated, so he didn't have time to look through them one by one. Although many things are useless to me, they can still be used to develop my family in the future. Items appeared out of thin air in Yunfan's hands and disappeared out of thin air after looking through them. The members of the team watched curiously for a long time. Alchemist's general principles? Yunfan was delighted after looking through them. This thing is interesting. It seems to be to the essence. It should be of great help to my scientific alchemy level. Yunfan's vision is much more venomous now. After all, he has realized the realm of saints. After carefully looking through it, he soon felt that this alchemy was different from the alchemy he had seen before. There was a big difference. The ultimate goal of this alchemy was to point directly to the origin. This kind of thought is somewhat similar to his own. From the perspective of the mainland, it is to judge the scriptures and leave the Tao. He thought that this is something from the previous era. After entering the saint stage, Yunfan has begun to think about his future path. Yunfan suddenly turned out a palm-sized statue. This statue depicts an old man holding a scepter. No. Yunfan's eyes lit up, and he looked at it carefully. If he just glanced at it, he would only think it was a statue, but if he looked carefully, he would find that this statue was actually composed of dense runes. The runes are very small. If it were an ordinary person, he would probably not be able to see it clearly, but Yunfan is not an ordinary person. He has amazing mental power and can use his powerful spirit to see any kind of thing 10 miles away. With such mental power, he can naturally see the dense runes on the statue. It's amazing. The runes carved on this statue are probably tens of thousands of words, and countless small words just form a statue of an old mage. Yunfan was amazed at first, and then he looked for the beginning of these runes, and soon found 4 words on the top of the statue. Star God King. Yunfan's eyes lit up, and he examined it carefully. This thing seems to be related to the distribution of stars. At this moment, the strange statue suddenly emitted a ray of light, and fell into Yunfan's mind. I'm the Star God King. When you see this mirror image later, I should have been gone for a long time. The God King has been in existence for 2.38 million years, and the world-destroying catastrophe is about to come. I was lucky to survive the last catastrophe, but I'm afraid that I will die in the next catastrophe 10,000 years later. I just don't want my star god Deo to be lost, so I will record the practice here. I hope that those who are destined to get it will carefully comprehend it. The opening word startled Yunfan a little. The world-destroying catastrophe! Exclamation mark. What realm of god is this God King? Yunfan carefully browsed the cultivation method left in his mind by the Star God King, and found that the cultivation method left by the Star God King was very different from the cultivation of magic element fighting spirit on the mainland. People on the mainland practice fighting spirit and magic, while the Star God King's cultivation method is to cultivate the power of stars. The experience left by a God King is probably from a strong man in the last era. Yunfan immediately understood its preciousness. This is a cultivation method that goes straight to the realm of the god of creation, and it is on par with my own King Daoki. No matter how much, this cultivation method of the power of the stars will belong to me. Yunfan had an indescribable feeling in his heart, always feeling that something bad was going to happen. The catastrophe of the destruction of the world. All the gods of the last era died. Will there be another catastrophe of the destruction of the world? Damn, why do I care so much? I'm really sentimental. I'm not even a god now. It's useless to think so much. Anyway, there will be a tall person to hold up the sky if it falls. He immediately lowered his head and began to read the cultivation method of the power of the stars. The power of the stars is really magical. It uses everything that can be used. Even the continent where they are is a star. Interesting. Yunfan smiled at what most people find confusing. Yunfan was very smart in his previous life, and he was a top-notch existence in every field, otherwise he would not have created endless legends. Since coming to this world, his brain has been like an optical brain. The technology of the previous life on Earth has given Yunfan a different way of thinking from this world. Worldview. Universe. Many things are consistent with the previous life, and many things are also different. Regarding the theory of star power, I'm afraid no one will recognize it on the current continent. This level of knowledge makes them study the power of stars, and naturally everyone is dumbfounded. It can be said that those slightly powerful science students in the Earth era dare not say that they understand everything, but at least they have some understanding. The previous life gave Yunfan a different worldview from ordinary people, which is equivalent to vision. This life has given Yunfan powerful power. When the concepts of the two worlds merge with each other, maybe he can reach a place that his predecessors could not reach. Chapter 505 Return to the Tribe. Naturally, there is a good foundation for learning to use the power of the stars. So that's how it is. Yunfan smiled from time to time. This star power actually contains all the attributes. The more Yunfan looked, the happier he was. But gradually, Yunfan's face lost its smile. Sometimes frowning and thinking hard, sometimes staring blankly. Some problems were solved, but new problems popped up again. Sure enough, you can't underestimate the world. Yunfan said to himself, star cultivation is as vast as the sea of smoke. Because of my previous life's foundation, I only got started. I feel confused when it's a little more profound. That's right, this is a cultivation method left over from the last era. If you practice to the extreme, you can become the strongest in the world. Master G, it's dawn. We should set off. A member of a team suddenly shouted. Yunfan realized that it was already dawn. I didn't expect time to pass so quickly. It's dawn in the blink of an eye. The stars are as bright as the sea of smoke. Once this star technique is fully understood, it will be considered a great master, and it will definitely have the ability to challenge higher levels. Studying the stars can give me an extra tool. I can even inject the power of the stars into my domain, the perfect world, to make the perfect world even more perfect. Although Yunfan has just started to learn about the power of the stars, he is full of confidence in the future. Master G, our tribe is ahead. A man named Yada in the team said to Yunfan. Yunfan immediately looked up and saw some sentries in a human tribe in the distance seeming to notice this place. It's the young patriarch and his men who are back. Quick, go and report to the patriarch. The tribesmen of the tribe were naturally very familiar with their young patriarch, and the other party quickly recognized him. When the human team that Yunfan was in arrived at the gate of the tribe, some guards guarding the gate had already come to greet them in person. Brother Shankar, you're back. Yes, little brother Chaya. Brother Shankar, what did you gain from your trip to the Laser Lake Plain this time? I was thinking of going with you, but my sister suddenly fell ill. Oh, what's wrong? We don't have the ability to go deep into the Laser Lake Plain. We just arrived at the edge of the Laser Lake Plain, and we encountered many alien masters. Those who are below the 8th level and don't have the ability to fly on their own really have a hard time moving there. No way. The lowest level requires the 8th level, which is too horrible. There is only one patriarch in our entire tribe, and even in those dungeons, there are not many masters above the 8th level. Yes, this time, it's not just the people in the dungeons who entered the Laser Lake Plain, but also many masters from the surface world. Oh. After this period of time, I realized how superficial I was. Shankar shook his head helplessly. I have other things to do, and I have to see my father. Let's talk about it later. Since brother Shankar is going to talk to the tribe leader, go quickly. If you go too late, you may not be able to see the tribe leader. What happened to my father? The tribe leader has contacted several tribal leaders and is going to the ancestral land. What do you mean? Father and others are going to the ancestral land. My search for my father also involves the ancestral land. No, I have to go there quickly. Yunfan glanced at the man who was talking to Shankar and saw that the man still had a trace of illness on his face, as if he had been injured. Yunfan took out a bottle of healing potion from his space ring and handed it to the man. What is this? Chabo was stunned. Take the thing that Lord G gave you quickly. This thing is a legendary potion that is good for your injuries. Shankar said to Chao. Chao looked at the boy in front of him a little at a loss. The boy was not too old, but from the performance of his young tribe leader, he felt that the boy in front of him was a very powerful figure. The young tribe leader seemed to be very afraid of this boy. Chao hurriedly took the healing potion from Yunfan's hand. This is a bottle of healing potion. If you drink it, your injury should be healed. Yunfan said casually. Brother Shankar, let's go and see your father. Shankar, my son, I'm relieved to see you return safely. You should stay in the tribe during this period. Father, has something bad happened in the ancestral land again? Since you asked, then father, I will not hide it from you. Those people in the underground city are still unwilling to give up and are ready to attack the ancestral land again. You also know the importance of the ancestral land, so our human tribe has decided to send some people to garrison the ancestral land. A middle-aged man said a little frustrated. When I'm not here, you must guard our tribe well. If the ancestral land is lost, father, I will go with you. Where are you going? Listen to your father and live well. You young people are the hope of the human race. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, he cast a scrutinizing gaze at Yunfan. I wonder who this little brother is? Father, this is Lord Yunfan. I was killed by foreigners on my way back. Fortunately, Lord G helped me, otherwise I would not be able to come back. Shankar hurriedly introduced Yunfan to his father. So you are Shankar's savior. The man looked at Yunfan with some gratitude, and then muttered a few words to the people beside him, as if to thank Yunfan. Little brother, I should have thanked you in person, but something big happened in the ancestral land, so I came here this time hoping that uncle can take me to the ancestral land. Yunfan waited for the middle-aged man to speak, and I interrupted him directly. Little brother is also going to the ancestral land, but the situation in the ancestral land is not optimistic now. The middle-aged man showed a slightly surprised expression on his face, and he didn't want Yunfan to go. because he saw that Yunfan was very young. Although he saved his son, he didn't think that the other party's strength was so profound, and going to the ancestral land was a sure death. By the way, uncle, I'm from the surface world, and my medical skills are pretty good, so I want to go to the ancestral land to check on the ancestors' injuries. Little brother, you mean you can go and treat the ancestors' injuries? The middle-aged man's face was full of surprise, and he was a little bit unbelievable. Little brother, I appreciate your kindness on behalf of the ancestor, but the ancestor's injuries cannot be cured by ordinary medical skills. How can you know the result without trying? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 506. The human race should strive for self-improvement. Forget it, since you insist on going, you can go with me. The middle-aged man shook his head slightly. He didn't think Yunfan could cure the ancestor's illness. Yunfan joined the team going to the ancestral land. Everyone was very curious about Yunfan from the surface world. They were curious about what the surface world was like. They had been in the underground world for thousands of years, and the surface world was a legend to them. Brother Yunfan, I didn't expect that the human race in the surface world was the master. This is completely different from our underground world. If possible, I really want to go to the surface world to see what the sun looks like. There will be such a day. I believe that the ancestors' illness will be cured soon, and the human race in the underground world will definitely be able to live a stable life. Yunfan said. I hope so. The leader of another tribe smiled bitterly. Yunfan suddenly frowned. He was so sensitive that he easily sensed the extremely subtle vibration of the earth. Yunfan, what's wrong with you? It seems that a group of people are approaching us. There should be thousands of soldiers. It should be only a few miles away. Thousands of soldiers gathered a few miles away. Are they friends or enemies? Little brother Yunfan, you can't sense it wrong, right? You can feel the movement several miles away. This is impossible. A middle-aged human obviously didn't believe it and questioned. This time, apart from the people who went to support the ancestral land, there shouldn't be many people who know about it. Yunfan was puzzled. This pair of people looks like they are coming towards us. Otherwise send someone to check it out. Yunfan immediately said to Shankar's father. Since little brother Yunfan said so, I will send someone to check it out, so that everyone can rest assured. Although Shankar's father didn't believe it either, he agreed because Yunfan saved his son's life. The servant who was sent out returned soon, but the news brought by the servant made the faces of the people present change. Less than 2 miles away from here, a team of more than 2,000 people composed of foreigners was heading in their direction. Call the leaders of other tribes. Shankar's father ordered the people around him seriously. Brother Zibia, what's the matter with you calling us here in such a hurry? The human race from other tribes also followed with some tribesmen. Zibia said very seriously, there are thousands of alien warriors 2 miles away, marching towards here. There should be about 2 to 3,000. Everyone needs to be alert. Many tribal leaders were shocked after hearing Zibia's words. 2 to 3,000 alien warriors? Impossible. How big of an alien tribe would be able to dispatch 2 to 3,000 alien warriors? It might even be an underground city. How could they appear in this place? Intercept us? But how do they know our route? Could it be that we are here? Now is not the time to think so much. Think about how to resist this group of alien warriors. Shankar's father glanced at the person who spoke and said nothing more. Yes. Because all along, the leaders of these tribes have respected Zibia, and now it has reached a critical moment. The leaders of the other tribes naturally dare not say much, and shouted, quick, quick, there are aliens attacking, quickly gather. Be alert, don't let them take advantage. These leaders are swift and resolute, and soon their orders are passed to the troops they brought, and almost everyone is in action, waiting for the invading enemy. Yunfan looked at the distance, and the coalition forces of several tribes were also holding weapons and waiting in formation, each looking at the mountains and forests in the distance. Gradually, Gradually, more and more people can sense the footsteps. After all, it is absolutely impossible for 2 or 3,000 alien warriors to make a sound. This also made the leaders of each tribe even more shocked. You know, Yunfan had determined the approximate distance and the number of people a long time ago. At first, they didn't believe it, and now this pair of people actually appeared in front of them. So many alien warriors, and they are elite aliens. The leaders of the human tribes present were a little confused. They were a force composed of 5 tribes. Each tribe supported 400 people, and together they had 2,000 people. As for this alien team, there were dense figures emerging from the distant mountains and forests. Those figures in the front were all wearing armor. At first glance, they looked like a torrent of steel. They saw that this alien team was rushing over quickly. They roughly counted that there were indeed more than 2,000 people. Stop. With an order, 3,000 alien warriors gathered half a mile in front of the human alliance. How did these humans find us? The leader of the alien team couldn't help but frowned. They were originally preparing for a surprise attack, but they didn't expect that this human team was already waiting for them there in full battle array. Listen, human tribe. At the front of the dark camp, a burly middle-aged alien man roared, "We are from the Underground City Coalition. You'd better surrender quickly, and you can still have a way out. If you resist, those who resist will be killed, and the rest of the human race will be sold into slavery." The voice echoed in the plain. The human alliance was a little panicked. What should we do now? There are so many warriors, more than 3,000 people, and they look like regular troops from the underground city. It's over. Negative emotions spread, and many people have already retreated, because the human coalition is a union of different tribes, so the centripetal force is very poor. Once fighting, it will soon be defeated. Before this, they basically acted independently. The human tribe had completely lost their morale. At this moment, someone suddenly shouted, "We are the elites of the tribe. How could we be forced by their momentum? Even if we die, we must take someone with us. The human race should strive for self-improvement." Stop talking nonsense. The aliens in front of the opposite formation roared, "Surrender or go to war. If you go to war, you will definitely lose." Yunfan frowned and glanced at the people on his side. Several human leaders present nodded and stepped forward, shouting at the same time, "The human race should strive for self-improvement. The 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 human race should strive for self-improvement." The voices echoed in the plains and caused a commotion on the alien side. Chapter 507 Battle. Good. Very good. Humans, you are really good. I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. If that's the case, you should die. The leading alien said. "Chief, what should we do now? Since they are so ignorant, attack them forcefully. If they resist, just kill them." "Attack." A bearded alien shouted immediately. "Kill." The 3,000 alien warriors were all excellent warriors of the aliens. They were Deadpools and soldiers. When they heard the leader's order, they roared and rushed forward. "Kill all the human race. Charge. Let these human races know the consequences of ignoring our great achievements." Like a torrent of steel, the aliens rushing in the front were all wearing armor, while those in the back were wearing leather. For a moment, the earth trembled. Yunfan saw a black mass rushing towards them from afar, and couldn't help but exclaimed, "These alien armies are indeed powerful, and these people have no fear of death at all. They are just like monsters." The human alliance forces belong to different deployments, and are a little worse in obeying orders. There is still a certain gap in strength, and they are not as good in numbers. They don't have the right time, place, and people. If a direct war breaks out, I'm afraid there will be heavy losses. As a human being, I can't stand idly by. When the aliens attacked, Yunfan opened his own little world of the undead, and released all the skeleton warriors inside. "This is a skeleton warrior." The aliens were slightly stunned after seeing Yunfan's move. They naturally knew that this kind of weak undead creature could not be any weaker. "Undead mage, you are not teasing us, are you? Although your skeleton warriors are a little weird, they are just skeleton warriors after all. It seems that you have no ability to resist. Haha. Humph. Wait until you have dealt with my skeleton warriors before you talk nonsense. After Yunfan's skeleton warriors were transformed by him again, they already had the strength of the 8th level sky warriors, and even the number 1 among them was only one step away from the holy level. Yunfan's skeleton warriors also rushed towards the aliens like a fierce stream of steel. Wherever they went, they were unmatched. They killed gods and buddhas, as if there was no one in the world. The aliens were shocked instantly. The Human Alliance army also took advantage of the victory to pursue, and these aliens were actually faintly retreated. Seeing this situation, the alien leader who had tried to sit back and watch the fight became very anxious. He never thought that things would develop to this extent. When the skeleton warrior rushed towards him, he suddenly jumped up, as if a big bird flew across the sky in an instant. The more than 2-meter long sword in his hand was tightly held in his hand. As he jumped up, a strong airwave suddenly formed around him. The extremely turbulent airwave was like a flood that burst out in an instant. Damn it. Then the endless airwave rolled and rolled directly towards Yunfan's skeleton warrior. Evil knife crazy blade. What a powerful fighting skill. What a powerful method. The leader is really too powerful, I'm afraid. Several human leaders present couldn't help but worry about Yunfan's skeleton warriors. This is interesting. Yunfan smiled slightly, as if he didn't care about the benefits at all. Fighting. Just when everyone was worried about the skeleton warriors, the alloy bone knife in the hands of no one actually burst into a cyan light. The cyan light was like a layer of layers, slashing towards the alien leader. When he slashed with the knife, his figure actually appeared to shine. What on earth is going on? It's space magic, space shining. How is this possible? How can a skeleton warrior master space magic, and he also knows fighting skills? What the hell is going on? The alien leader who led the group was immediately panicked. Originally, his morale was high, but since the skeleton warrior slashed with the knife, his original plan was completely messed up. The skeleton warrior washed away his understanding of the world. He had never heard of anyone whose skeleton warrior was so strong. What is going on? Have the gods abandoned us? Don't think you can do whatever you want, just because you created a weird skeleton warrior. Nothing can stop you in the face of absolute strength. At the moment, when the swords touched, the alien leader's black fighting spirit surged rapidly, and a faint voice made the faces of the people present suddenly change. Dang. The two swords collided with each other, making a crisp sound, like thunder, spreading from the intersection. Catcher. At the moment of intersection, the sound of broken bones came out sharply, and the alien leader and the skeleton warrior were almost thrown out at the same time. The body hit a foreign man behind him heavily. The alien leader felt a sweet taste in his throat, and couldn't help but spurt out a mouthful of blood, which sprinkled on the ground. Looking at the alien leader vomiting blood, everyone couldn't help but marvel. The skeleton warrior seemed to have suffered a heavy blow, and broke directly after hitting a piece of gravel. No matter whether it was human or alien, no one present had expected that the skeleton warrior summoned by Yunfan would be so powerful. However, more people sighed with regret. However, just when they thought that the alien leader had been defeated, the skeleton warrior that fell to the ground at the same time was indeed broken. Among the people present, there were many people with outstanding eyesight. When they saw the alien leader's almost distorted expression, they couldn't help but take a breath of cold air, and then their faces were full of shock. The noisy battlefield suddenly became silent at this moment. One by one, they looked at the alien leader who was constantly panting under the wall in shock. After a while, the sound of shock rang out. This is really incredible. Brother Zibia, where did you find such an awesome human boy? The skeleton warriors he summoned alone have caught up with me. Doesn't this mean that I can't even match a skeleton warrior? The alien soldiers looked at their leader in disbelief and said in astonishment, the leader is actually injured, and the injury is not light. If we meet this skeleton warrior, I'm afraid the ending will be even more tragic. Many alien soldiers swallowed their leader's miserable condition, which made him a little nervous. Are these other skeleton warriors also so strong? The leader is the peak of the Sky Warrior, and he is just a little bit away from entering the Saint level. Looking at the bone spurs of their leader, that had almost drilled out of the flesh, everyone present knew that, although the alien leader had one on the surface, he was probably useless. Chapter 508 Killing. Yunfan waved his hand and took back skeleton warrior number 1. The alien leader, who was already seriously injured, glared at Yunfan fiercely. It turns out that this little bastard actually has such a weird skeleton warrior. Is he so confident? The alien leader slowly got up, glanced at the stunned alien soldiers not far away with a cold look, dragged his numb arm, picked up the weapon beside him, and looked at Yunfan with a fierce look on his face. At this moment, the alien leader had revealed his murderous intention towards Yunfan. For those who wanted his life, Yunfan would not show unnecessary mercy. Yunfan himself jumped over and landed directly beside the alien leader and slashed directly with the Daluo sword in his hand. Yunfan jumped out in front of the alien leader in an instant, and Yunfan's sword immediately frightened the alien leader so much that he quickly rolled over and hid beside him. Yunfan's sword was full of powerful energy, and several alien soldiers behind the alien leader were directly rushed dozens of meters away by the powerful energy. Half squatting on the ground, looking at Yunfan who was getting closer and closer, the alien leader was full of resentment and a little panic. He swallowed his saliva. He also saw the murderous intent in Yunfan's eyes, and couldn't help but hurriedly said, "How about I take my people to retreat now?" Yunfan had a blank expression on his face, as if he didn't hear this. He held the Daluo sword in his hand more and more tightly, and exuded an unparalleled murderous aura. Looking at the indifferent boy in the field, even though some alien soldiers had been bleeding on the edge of the knife for many years, they couldn't help but feel a little scared. The current Yunfan gave them a feeling that they were unmatched. This feeling could only be felt by the upper levels of the underground city. Pausing, Yunfan looked down at the alien leader from a high position and suddenly smiled. Although the smile looked like a spring breeze, it made the alien leader even more frightened. If he didn't know that the guy in front of him was an iron plate, he would not be worthy of being the leader of a large army. This seemingly immature boy actually had a heart that was even more cruel than his. Just having such a heart was not the most terrifying thing. What was more terrifying was that this boy had a stronger strength than him. Since you want to kill me, you must be prepared to be killed by me. Die. With a slight smile, Yunfan's dark pupils suddenly surged with murderous intent. The Daluo sword in his hand was fiercely injected with fighting spirit, and with the sound of breaking wind, he fiercely chopped off the head of the alien leader. Looking at Yunfan who was ruthless, the alien leader's face was pale and fearful. Everyone's eyes followed the Daluo sword in Yunfan's hand. However, when the Daluo sword was only half a meter away from the alien leader's head, a loud shout suddenly sounded, and the sound was like thunder, and it suddenly rang in everyone's ears. "Human boy, don't push your luck." Hearing this furious roar, Yunfan narrowed his eyes slightly, and a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. The Daluo sword in his hand not only did not stop, but the speed became even more amazing. Die. Yunfan's actions obviously aroused the anger of the person who shouted earlier. With a curse, a sharp fighting spirit whistled out, like a purple lightning, cutting across Yunfan's eyes, and unexpectedly blocked the Daluo sword. Feeling the power transmitted from the Daluo sword, Yunfan's face changed slightly. This person's strength should not be underestimated. He should have reached the saint level. Is a saint level so common now? Yunfan gritted his teeth and was about to thrust the Daluo sword into the alien leader's throat again when the purple lightning struck again. The strong purple lightning forced Yunfan to give up the attack. Yunfan's pupils shrank slightly, and the Daluo sword he had thrust hard suddenly lifted up and blocked in front of him. The corner of his mouth twitched, and Yunfan held the Daluo sword tightly in his right hand. His body tilted slightly, and then suddenly twisted around. The Daluo sword in his hand turned into a green light and fiercely stabbed at the figure flying in the air. HMPH. Seeing that Yunfan dared to attack him, the figure snorted coldly, curled his hands into claws, and waved them fiercely in front of him. The strong purple lightning formed several purple light blades. The purple lightning and the Daluo sword collided with each other, generating a strong airflow that blew away several people not far from them. You are so young, don't think that you can do whatever you want. After entering the Holy Land, you dare to attack people from my underground city. Today I will teach you a lesson. After a brief confrontation between the two, both sides had roughly analyzed each other's strength. However, Ji Yunfan was so young that the alien saint in the underground city was very surprised. But it was just a surprise. The alien strongman in the underground city thought that he had entered the holy rank for many years. Even if he couldn't kill Ji Yunfan, he should be able to easily suppress the other party. The alien saint sneered, holding a purple longsword. The fighting spirit quickly condensed. A circle of purple lightning formed under his feet and then carried it in the air. His figure was like a speeding truck, swooping down at Ji Yunfan, waving the purple sword, and a purple fighting spirit light blade appeared again out of thin air, shooting towards Ji Yunfan. The strong air blade generated by the purple light blade swept away the debris on the ground, and the whole world seemed to become quiet all of a sudden. Teach me a lesson? You are nothing. You are only allowed to kill my people, but I'm not allowed to kill your people. Ji Yunfan shook his head with a sneer. He had sensed the strength of the other party from his fighting spirit. The strength of the guy in front of him had already transformed. He believed that he had entered the saint level for quite some time. Moreover, the fighting spirit he cultivated should be the more powerful thunder attribute on the continent. The attack power of this attribute of fighting spirit far exceeded other attributes. He looked at the purple lightning blade that was shooting at him with a calm face. When it was about to enter his head, the Daluo sword in Ji Yunfan's hand was slashed out again, and the King Emperor's fighting spirit rushed out. The moment the two weapons touched, the faces of the foreign saint and Ji Yunfan changed drastically at the same time. They did not expect the strength of the other party to be so strong. After the contact, the two figures were immediately recoiled into the air. The foreign saint flipped in the air, then retreated dozens of steps, and landed on the open space 10 meters away. The blade missed, and with a hiss, a deep scar several inches deep was left on the ground. Father, kill him. Looking at the alien saint level warrior swooping down from midair, the alien leader's face was filled with ecstasy, and he glared at Ji Yunfan with hatred and shouted. Chapter 509 Compromise. After landing, the alien saint looked at the leader of the alien team with a gloomy face. His face twitched slightly, and a cold murderous intent flashed across his pupils. He did not answer, but stepped on the ground, and rushed towards Ji Yunfan again. Let me test how powerful your human saint is. From the appearance of the alien saint to the fierce battle between the two, it was only a moment. When everyone heard the words of the alien saint, they couldn't help but be shocked. The young human boy in front of them had actually entered the saint level. I haven't killed a saint level warrior for a long time. Let me see how powerful you are. Boy, you hurt my son's hand. It's not easy to get away safely. The saint level warrior of the alien race roared with a ferocious face. Then he stomped his feet and was surrounded by purple lightning. He ran wildly and appeared above Ji Yunfan's head. A ferocious look flashed across his expressionless face. He held the purple broadsword tightly in his hand, and the surging purple fighting spirit on it quickly condensed into a huge purple wind blade. Fuck, this alien guy's fighting skills are really not simple. Feeling the fierce power contained in the saint level broadsword of the alien race, Ji Yunfan's face changed slightly, and he controlled the Daluo sword to resist. Not far away, looking at Ji Yunfan who was in a state of anxiety, the expressions of the human race changed slightly, and they couldn't help but worry about Ji Yunfan. In Ji Yunfan's eyes, colorful flames gradually burned, and colorful Dao Qi also began to condense into fierce energy in the Daluo sword. Seeing that he could not defeat Ji Yunfan after a long battle, the alien saint became impatient and roared with anger again. Damn, human child, you deserve to die. As soon as the shout fell, the alien saint swept through the purple lightning control, stepped hard on the ground, and appeared in front of Ji Yunfan like lightning. Purple lightning mad knife. With a grim face, the alien saint held the purple sword tightly in his hand, and then slashed at Ji Yunfan fiercely. On the sword, a huge purple electric current was looming. Dang. The blue and purple intersected, and the explosion was like thunder, which made the people present feel a little dazed. In midair, the bodies of the two people who were fighting each other shook slightly, and then they retreated violently. When the alien saint retreated, he also grabbed his so-called son behind him. He hurriedly took a few steps back on the ground. Every step left a footprint visible to the naked eye on the ground, which showed how powerful the two sides were. After dissipating his strength, the alien saint glanced at Ji Yunfan not far away with a cold look, and sneered, "Human young man, I still underestimated you. I didn't expect that you could reach this level of strength at such a young age. If you are given some more time, I'm afraid another human ancestor will appear. You have lived to such an old age and only have such little strength. You have really lived like a pig." Ji Yunfan was naturally unwilling to be outdone and said sarcastically. The alien saint had a gloomy face, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. He pointed at Ji Yunfan on the ground and said coldly, "Although you are a genius, and may reach a level that I cannot dream of in the future, you must wait until you grow up. You are still a little immature now." "Am I still immature, or are you incompetent? Let's see the truth." Ji Yun curled his lips, and said with some disdain, "Good boy, you are really brave. I want to see if your strength is as powerful as your mouth." The alien saint sneered and cursed fiercely. Although he showed a disdainful expression, he was still secretly on guard. The sneer on Ji Yunfan's face slowly converged, and he said with a smile. This expression looked as annoying as it was annoying in the eyes of the alien saint. When he was on Earth, he never understood why the two words he were often mentioned. Now he understood that the provocation of these two words had reached an extraordinary level. You. Although the alien saint didn't understand what the two words he meant, he knew from Ji Yunfan's expression that they were not good words. His face twitched quickly for a few times. The alien saint looked at Ji Yunfan's teasing eyes and was furious. He knew that he might not get any advantage today, so he had to grit his teeth and said, "Don't let me seize the opportunity, otherwise, I will make you live a life worse than death." I'll give this to you. With a smile, Ji Yunfan's eyes also flashed with a fierce light. "How about we fight for another 800 rounds? See if I can kill you." Okay, wait." The alien saint felt as if he was about to explode. He nodded with an angry smile, stepped forward to help his son who was howling in pain, turned around and left. When passing the alien team, looking at the stunned looks of the people in the team, the anger in his heart surged again. He took a deep breath, suppressed his anger, and said in a deep voice, "Retreat." But father. The leader of the alien team cast an unwilling look at Ji Yunfan who was not far away. The eyes of the alien saint level strongman jumped a few times. He wanted to slap his son to death. Couldn't he see that he was not in the upper hand now? If he continued to fight, it was not certain who would win. He looked at his son fiercely and said, "We will discuss this matter after we go back." Well, okay. Looking at his father, he could only nod unwillingly and glared at Ji Yunfan fiercely again. Watching the embarrassed alien team leave, Ji Yunfan sneered, glanced around, then turned around, and looked at the human alliance team that had suffered a lot of losses. His eyes slowly softened. The leader of a human tribe patted Ji Yunfan's shoulder heavily, then smacked his lips and said regretfully, "Brother Ji Yunfan, your strength is really beyond doubt. But you are not ruthless enough. If I had your strength, I would definitely leave them all behind." TSK, what a pity. Listening to the words of the human leader, many human beings present couldn't help but feel their scalps tingling. Hearing this, Shankar's father rolled his eyes helplessly. As the saying goes, a desperate dog will jump over the wall. If we really make these guys angry, I have no problem, but I'm afraid our team will suffer heavy losses. I think this matter seems to be a little complicated. Ji Yunfan said after a moment of silence. "Brother Ji, did you find anything?" asked the leader of a human tribe next to Ji Yunfan. Looking at the situation of this alien team, they had long expected us to appear here. Chapter 510, Raid. You mean to say that someone tipped them off? How is that possible? Not necessarily someone tipped them off. Maybe they have some means of tracking us. Maybe they have been eyeing us since we left the tribe. Father, why did you let those human soldiers go? You must know that they are going to support the human ancestral land. What do you know? That human kid is extraordinary. I originally thought that the human kid had just entered the saint rank, but after really fighting with him, I found that his strength is not weaker than mine, and may even be stronger than me. If I really fight with him, I'm afraid he will be desperate and kill you at all costs. How is that possible? Father, you have entered the saint rank for more than 10 years, and that human kid looks like he is only in his 20s. How could he be stronger than you? So we must find a way to get rid of him no matter what. A cold light flashed in the eyes of the alien saint rank. But didn't you say that his strength is not weaker than yours? So I plan to attack at night. This underground world is also very magical. Although it is not as obvious as the surface world in that there is a distinction between dark and white days, there are also dark days. The dark night sky is hung with luminous stones, and the faint fluorescence covers the earth with a light veil, which looks extremely mysterious. After rushing on the road during the day, the coalition forces found a place near the river to station. The whole world seemed to fall into darkness and silence, and the sound of monsters occasionally came from not far away. At the alien army station, the alien saint was moving forward silently. His dark eyes, the same color as the night sky, were now cold and shining, just like an owl in the dark night. After entering the holy level, his absolute was strengthened, so even in the dark here, he could see everything around him clearly. The leader of the alien team looked at the back of his father leaving, and a very complicated expression appeared on his face. Just as Yunfan expected, the alien race had already done something to the Alliance army. They applied a potion called diamond flower on some human beings. With the help of diamond flower, the alien race could determine the location of the human beings. Not far from the river, the alien saint level runner looked around, then jumped out, and fell rapidly in midair. The saint level strongman can already control his power perfectly, so he wrapped his whole body with fighting spirit, which is difficult for ordinary people to find. The alien saint level strongman lightly tapped on a boulder, and the dark figure, like an elf hidden in the dark, quietly passed by and finally disappeared into the darkness. The moon is dark and the wind is high. It is a good time to kill. The human Alliance army station. When the alien saint level just walked to the edge of the river, the surrounding scenery changed drastically, as if all the light was absorbed by something. It was dark around, and only some of the surrounding terrain could be vaguely distinguished, and some black fog was floating around. The black fog was everywhere, and the power of darkness was strong. Magic circle. The alien saint level strongman immediately realized that he had been ambushed by others, and entered the magic circle. Someone is looking for death, ha ha ha. A laugh suddenly echoed around. Brother G, you are really wise. You said someone would attack the camp today, and sure enough, someone attacked the camp. The alien saint level stood in place, and looked at the black fog transformed by the dark element around him. He could only barely see 2 or 3 meters away, and he couldn't see farther. The alien saint level held the big knife in his hand tightly. We have no grudges. Why do you want to kill me? I won't let you go, even if I become an undead. I want revenge on the damn bastard. I want to make you live a life worse than death. Standing in this endless black fog magic circle, the alien saint level vaguely heard various voices. Those voices seemed to belong to different people. Each of them was looking for revenge like him, and he could even see various undead. As a strong man of the saint level, he could naturally tell the true from the false. He knew that everything in front of him was fake. He used the power of dark magic to release the evil in his heart. Even Yunfan, who didn't know about this magic circle, couldn't help but be secretly shocked. This magic circle is so terrible. It can amplify the fear in everyone's heart. The more murderous people are, the stronger the power of the magic circle will be. Damn it, what's going on? You are all garbage. If I can kill you once, I can hurt you a second time. No, you are all dead. I came here to assassinate that human boy. This is the magic circle of the subordinates of that hateful human boy. No matter what, I have to get out first. The alien saint looked around solemnly. After a series of panic, he had reacted. In this black air, composed of darkness and element, the alien saint moved quickly for a while, but no matter where he moved, he kept circling in place, and the chaotic and noisy sound became stronger and stronger. Damn bastard. The alien saint's face became very ugly. This is not an ordinary magic circle. It has reached the saint level. The power of these dark element is corroding my brain all the time and making me hallucinate. Although I'm moving, I'm also constantly changing directions at the same time. Despicable human, if you have the guts, let this saint out. What's the point of you sneaking around like this? I'm sneaking around, but it's better than a saint level powerhouse like you sneaking up on me. Human kid, don't be too arrogant. It's just a magic circle, isn't it? I'll break it for you to see. The shrill roar echoed in the endless black fog. Yunfan smiled slightly. To be honest, he did not set up this magic circle to target the alien saint. He was studying the secrets of the stars some time ago, and he was just doing experiments on the magic circle here. He never thought that this alien saint would step into the magic circle alive. He naturally could not let the saint out. He wanted to see how effective his magic circle could be. Yunfan stood outside the magic circle, observing the magic circle he had set up to see if there was anything he needed to improve. Matt Bladefield. The alien saint trapped in the magic circle was bloodthirsty at this moment. Because the magic circle evoked his memories of killing in the past, he used Chapter 511, Provocation. After hearing the noise, the people of the human coalition army who were resting in the camp came out of their tents one by one. They soon found the alien saint trapped in the magic circle. Master G. Don't worry, this alien saint has been trapped in the magic circle by me. He can't get out for a while. I don't kill him now, because I want to test my magic circle. Yunfan said to everyone. The alien saint has never been so aggrieved. In this magic circle, it is like another world. No matter how he tries, he can't break through the magic circle. Master G's magic circle is so powerful, even the saint can't resist it. Many people couldn't help but exclaimed. The reason why Yunfan's magic circle can trap the saint is because he has obtained the crystal of the world. Although it cannot completely control the crystal of the world, it can also slightly change the laws around it. With this, the domain power of the alien saint cannot be exerted at all. Yunfan tried to simulate the power of the system in the magic circle. After just a short while, the alien saint was tortured beyond recognition, and his clothes were in disarray. Damn human kid, if you have the guts, let me out, and we'll fight for 800 rounds. Do you think I'm stupid? I can easily deal with you, but I still want to let you out and make myself uncomfortable. Yunfan said with a hint of mockery. No matter how the alien saint struggled, he could not break through the magic circle. As time passed, the strength of the alien saint was slowly fading, and the fighting spirit in his body was rapidly declining, which made him panic. Once his fighting spirit was completely exhausted, he would become a lamb to be slaughtered. He knew very well that, if he did not change the status quo, Ka would be completely powerless in less than half an hour. With the arrangement of the magic circle researched by Yunfan's understanding of the power of various attributes has become more profound. The power of the stars is inclusive, and in fact, it has the same origin as the chaotic power of the god of creation. In the end, the alien saint was captured by Yunfan because he had exhausted all his power. Why didn't you just kill him, Master G? Why kill him directly? Maybe he is still useful, and maybe he can buy some life for the ancestral land. Yunfan said seriously, a saint-level strongman has a high status even in the dungeon, and should be able to exchange for a lot of freedom for the human race. The team started to move again, much faster than the previous days, traveling day and night, and making rapid progress. My lords, there are obvious footprints here. As they were marching, a dark-skinned man with braids said, the traces are so obvious, it should be the alien cavalry. Yeah. Shankar's father nodded, and then said to the people behind him, everyone needs to be more careful. It seems that the cavalry of the underground city is in front. They are regular troops. Once they fight, I'm afraid we won't have any advantage. Yunfan went ahead to get information. Soon they saw a large group of sparse human figures. They saw that the men and women were tied up with their hands, and their hands were tied together. A group of men and women lined up in a line. In this way, if one wanted to escape, he would have to pull the others with him, and it was impossible to coordinate. Behind this team of people and horses was a pair of armored alien cavalrymen. They were fierce and ferocious, holding maces, iron sticks and the like in their hands, driving the crowd. Hurry up, hurry up. The escort team sometimes whipped the whip, sometimes smashed the mace on the ground to intimidate, and some children were tied to the mounts. 6 to 8 children could be tied to one mount, which could also speed up the march. Every man and woman looked sad, with despair in their eyes. Just a month ago, they were still living a happy life in their tribe, with their families. The sudden war made them slaves, and they didn't know what their final fate would be. The team escorting the human race continued to advance in the hills. Although they encountered some monsters on the way, the escort team was all powerful armored cavalry. Almost all of them were level 6 or 7, and they could easily kill some monsters. Damn bastards. Damn aliens. How dare you treat my human race like this? Many people in the Human Alliance army, where Yunfan was already cursing, wishing to go forward and kill all these alien soldiers. But they knew they couldn't do this, as doing so would alert the enemy. Where are they going to transport these humans to? Yunfan couldn't help but ask. This direction is towards the ancestral land. Shankar's father said with some doubts. If there is a war, shouldn't our human captives be transported away? It's heading towards the ancestral land. If that's the case, then it's troublesome. Brother G, have you thought of something? If I'm not mistaken, these humans are taken to the ancestral land as cannon fodder. Yunfan said with an ugly expression. What kind of alien race is this? They are worse than pigs and dogs. They actually came up with such a vicious method. After hearing Yunfan's words, several human leaders beside Yunfan couldn't help but change their faces. No, we must find a way to rescue them. This matter must be considered in the long run. We must figure out the specific strength of this pair of people. Otherwise, if we move forward rashly, what if they kill people directly? Yunfan said gloomily. It's not impossible. These alien races are simply crazy and can do anything. Yunfan and the others followed quietly behind. This place is already the border between hills and mountains. There are continuous low mountains in front. Hurry up. Hurry up. We'll be there soon. The cavalry escorting the team seemed to be happy. They would get certain merits by sending these human races to the front, and they would not have to go to the battlefield in person. Such good things are rare. At this time, several figures suddenly walked out of the cavalry and walked towards the direction where Yunfan and the others were. Oh no, we seem to have been discovered. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect to meet human race people here. We just need some cannon fodder. The sinister laughter echoed. Swish. Several shadows suddenly jumped out and rushed straight to Yunfan and the others. Chapter 512 Clone. Since it has been discovered, there is no need to hide. Humph. Yunfan's eyes flashed with a fierce light, and he immediately moved forward. The Daluo sword in his hand quickly turned into a flame, and directly split one of the figures into two. After one of the black shadows was cut off, the other black shadows instantly turned into mist and flew backwards to condense into a human figure, but this human figure was vaguely visible in the black mist. I didn't expect you to be so powerful at such a young age. A harsh voice came from one of the black shadows and spread far away. In this case, we will refine you into a puppet. A cold voice also sounded from another black shadow. Hurry up and don't talk nonsense. We still have to go to the ancestral land of the human race. Leave it to me. Another black shadow said faintly. As long as it is not a master of the demigod level, we can handle it. Yunfan's face changed slightly when he heard it. He felt a very strange breath from these black shadows, as if these black shadows were a whole, and it seemed that each black shadow existed independently. It is not guaranteed that a master of the demigod level can handle it. If they dare to say this, it is estimated that the black shadow has reached the peak of the saint level. You have reached the saint level at such a young age. The shadow in the black fog changed its position like a ghost, as if it did not exist. If you are given some more time, you may become a great enemy of my saint clan. But now you are still a little weak. I like to kill geniuses the most. Yunfan stood there very calmly, frowning slightly, thinking about the other party's identity. What exactly is this black shadow? Could it be an undead? But why can't I feel the power of death on them? What on earth are you? Damn bastard, you dare to say that we are a thing. Originally, I wanted you to become one of us. Now it seems that we have no choice but to devour you. Suddenly, black lights shot towards Yunfan. Yunfan had already been on guard and directly activated the King Dao key in his body to form a green protective film around him. After touching Yunfan's protective film, the strange black lights barely penetrated a little, but could not penetrate all of it. These shadows were like black lightning, and huge black sword blades rushed out of the mist and came to kill Yunfan. Dang. Ji Yunfan blocked the attack with a flash of Daolo Divine Sword and dodged to the side. Ji Yunfan frowned and looked at it. The black gas around the shadow swirled like a whirlpool. Ji Yunfan felt something extraordinary from the black gas. Destruction aura. You are from the Destruction clan. But why is it different from the Destruction aura I encountered before? This seems to be even more disgusting. Ji Yunfan's pupils shrank, and he turned into a stream of light. Bagua step. Whoosh. As fast as lightning, he pounced on one of the shadows, and saw that one of the shadows directly cut out a gas blade. Demon sealing sword technique destroying evil. A colorful sword light flashed, vaguely like a dragon, and the black figure was directly broken. Ji Yunfan landed quietly, still holding the Daolo sword, and looking around cautiously, wanting to see how the other black shadows performed. They are just so-so. They can't even catch one of mine. Number 1. Number 1. Several shouts suddenly came from the black shadows not far away. Damn human race. How dare you kill my number 1 clone. Number 1 clone. Ji Yunfan couldn't help but be slightly stunned. I only killed the number 1 clones of these black shadows. Or are all these black shadows clones? It's a big trouble. Although it seemed very simple to kill the black shadow on the surface, Ji Yunfan had already tried his best in this attack. If every black shadow was as powerful as this one, I'm afraid there would be a lot of losses. Ji Yunfan was surrounded by these black shadows, and the protective yin-yang Bagua diagram around him was also rotating, and he was constantly thinking about countermeasures in his heart. We must find a way to break their encirclement. Trapped here, I can only let the other party use their means. Ji Yunfan looked at the other party while thinking about the strategy to defeat the enemy. There were bursts of screams and shrill curses in his ears, as if there was a hell hidden in the mountains. Ji Yunfan knew that this was the effect of the destructive energy they cultivated, which could disturb the minds of ordinary people. This was somewhat similar to when he dealt with the alien saints. The human race who came with him had fallen into chaos, and had gradually lost themselves in the chaos. Kill. Kill. Several people around him kept repeating the word kill. Their voices were a little hoarse, and their eyes were a little red, as if they wanted to destroy everything. They had actually started to fight with the people around them. Damn it, these people's emotions seemed to be controlled by him. Zibia, who was beside Ji Yunfan, stared and hoarsely said, "My son is dead. I must take revenge. I must." Then he clenched the long knife in his hand fiercely, and slashed at Ji Yunfan. Bursts of shrill screams came from all directions, and the whole world seemed to be filled with negative emotions. Several people around Ji Yunfan had already started to fight each other. We can't go on like this, otherwise, everyone here will die at the hands of our own people. Ji Yunfan was the only one who was still awake. He moved quickly and soon knocked out several people around him. You are a kid, you really have some skills. You were not confused by my destructive power. But the more you do this, the more you will die. I captured more than 1,000 people from other tribes, among whom there are 4 people who have reached level 8, but they are still far from the requirements to break the ban. You can fight several people by yourself. It will be enough soon. Another black shadow also shouted grimly, after solving the ancestors of your human race, I will kill all of you humble human races. Ji Yunfan was surrounded by colorful light. At this moment, he had released his domain. Ji Yunfan's domain was flashing, but it showed his tyrannical nature. He actually drove away the special domain constructed by these black shadows using the destructive energy. Following Ji Yunfan's will, the Daolo sword flew out with colorful divine light and shot towards one of the shadow men. The shadow man immediately took out a huge black shield from somewhere and suddenly blocked it in front of him, resisting the piercing of the Daolo sword. After blocking the direct attack of the Daolo sword, the huge black shield broke under the powerful impact. At this time, Ji Yunfan naturally could not give up easily. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 513 Special Destruction Physique. The Daolo sword once again shone with unprecedented brilliance. A sharp and calm voice came from one of the black shadows. I didn't expect that a human kid like you could be so powerful. Even the fourth brother was killed by you. Destruction domain. The black fog was spreading, and the black shadows were quietly moving in the black fog. These black shadows seemed to be connected to the black fog. It's this annoying destruction domain again, and the domains of these guys from the destruction clan are actually one. Yunfan's face became serious. The black shadows seemed to fade away slowly, and finally merged into one, forming a huge black shadow 3 meters tall. In his left hand, a long sword formed by the gathering of the energy of destruction appeared out of thin air. The veins of the long sword were engraved with strange runes, and in his right hand, a huge long whip appeared out of thin air. Go. The huge black shadow waved the long whip in his hand, and thousands of black silk threads immediately became dozens of feet long, and covered Yunfan, who was standing not far away. Yunfan was slightly stunned by the opponent's means, but he quickly reacted, and made a corresponding response. The sky was covered with black silk threads along with the black whip. Perfect world, Bagua Kyankan. Yunfan shouted softly, and the yin yang Bagua diagrams around him became much larger. As the huge Bagua diagram rotated, the black silk threads that invaded were ground and tangled up, and could not get close to Yunfan at all. A domain that controls both water and fire at the same time. What the hell is this? A puzzled exclamation came from the huge black shadow. The voice was extremely noisy, as if the voices of several people gathered at the same time. It can actually be compared with my destruction domain. This is a bit troublesome. I wanted to take you down directly with the destruction domain, but it seems that it won't work. At the same time, the black thin threads became denser, and at the same time, the giant sword in his right hand had already cut through. What kind of monster are you? You speak so badly. The voice, like an electronic synthesized sound, made Yunfan feel very uncomfortable and asked. After the black giant sword and the Daoluo sword briefly exchanged, the black giant buzzed again. Boy, your methods are very special, and they are somewhat different from those on this continent. What is your origin? I'll scare you to death if I tell you. Yunfan snorted coldly. Tell me and see if you can scare me to death. The black giant said in that disgusting harmony. Yunfan didn't say anything else, obviously not wanting to tell his origins. He couldn't say that he came from the earth, right? Seeing that Yunfan didn't want to pay attention to him, the black giant also lost his patience. In that case, then you destroy it. He waved the huge long sword condensed by the destructive energy in his hand again, and saw that the black long sword quickly became longer across the sky. When it reached Yunfan's head, the tip of the long sword turned into a black giant python, biting directly at Yunfan, as if he wanted to devour the young man in front of him all at once. Yunfan felt the powerful force brought by the long sword of black destructive energy, and his face could not help but change slightly again, but he quickly responded. The fighting spirit in his body started to run quickly, and the yin-yang Teikai diagram also moved with his thoughts. The whole world seemed to be mixed with the two forces of water and fire. What does this strange pattern mean? Why do I feel a violent breath? It was a breath that was somewhat similar to that of destruction, but it was two completely different forces. He saw at a glance that Yunfan used the power of the domain to control water and fire at the same time, but he didn't understand how Yunfan used this trick. Theoretically, the creativity that created this world and the destructive power that destroyed this world are the higher powers in this world, which are purer than the elemental power. Therefore, when the destruction clan targets other humans or magic beasts, they have an absolute advantage in innate attributes, so they often defeat the strong with the weak. However, this advantage seemed to have no effect when facing Yunfan. He naturally didn't know that the special practice of Yunfan and the special domain he created. It can be said that the power he now controls is not just the elemental power, but the prototype of the power of creation. Whoosh. Demon Sealing Sword Technique, Sword of God Slaying. Yunfan unleashed Space Flash without warning, and instantly came to the side of the giant. All this happened in a matter of seconds. The giant of the Destruction Clan didn't even have time to react. The Daoluo sword in his hand also used the Sword of God Slaying style, stabbing at the head of the black giant formed by the gathering of the destruction aura. But how can this kid use space magic in my domain? Feeling the murderous aura from the Daoluo sword, the black giant became terrified. The opponent's power seemed to restrain him faintly. This had never happened before. Even if someone who was stronger than him practiced the destruction aura, at most he could only suppress him, but there was absolutely no way to restrain him. What on earth was going on? The black giant didn't have time to think about it, because he knew that, if he couldn't avoid this, he would probably be seriously injured. Don't mess with me. The black giant quickly turned into stars, and turned into a hazy shadow, to merge into the destruction domain. The black giant disappeared out of thin air. Whoosh, Yunfan appeared where the black giant had stood before, frowning. What a strange life tray. It can actually decompose its own body. It seems that its body is made up of the aura of destruction, which is fundamentally different from ordinary flesh and blood. At the same time, he was even more curious about the destruction clan. What kind of life is this? Just when Yunfan was about to completely purify the aura of destruction in front of him, suddenly a black shadow flashed out from the black fog, and disappeared without a trace. At the same time as the black shadow left, the destruction field composed of the aura of destruction actually collapsed directly. In addition to the aura of destruction in the air, everything returned to calm. They actually escaped in the form of souls. What is going on? Yunfan was full of confusion. Although Yunfan was full of questions in his heart, he knew that now was not the time to think about these things. He flashed in front of the alien cavalry, easily dealt with the few guarding cavalry, and released the tied up human race. Thank you, sir. The human race who escaped from death hurriedly knelt down. Chapter 514 Revenge. Everyone, hurry up and don't be so polite. I don't like this. Soon, the human race that came with Yunfan had woken up. They recalled what happened, and they were all frightened. My lord, why are the people who destroyed the underground city so weird? Those people are no longer ordinary aliens. The Black Phantom rushed into the belly of a mountain. May the devil is back. Why are you so embarrassed? You have consumed a lot of the energy of destruction, and even your soul has been seriously injured. Could it be that such a simple mission has failed? Some guys dressed strangely asked, and their eyes were filled with strange divine light. There are no friends in the destruction clan. There is only the law of the jungle. The strong destruction clan dominates the weak destruction clan. Originally, May was very powerful, but now because of the loss of the energy of destruction and the injury of the soul power, his current strength has dropped rapidly. Many people in the destruction clan have already set their sights on him, and want to devour his soul. The May demon is not actually one person, but 5 people. These 5 people were originally quintuplets, and they were connected with each other. However, some changes happened when the quintuplets were born, causing 4 of them to die prematurely. The 4 quadruplets who died prematurely all possessed the body of the last person. In order to regain their bodies, the quadruplets chose to transform into the destruction clan. Because the 5 people are connected by heart, although they have lost their bodies, their strength can be used by each other. In the destruction clan, except for a few demigod level strongmen, their strength is among the best. I only heard the May demon say grimly, everyone, you don't know how powerful that guy is. If I ran a little slower, I'm afraid I would die in his hands. So powerful? Could it be that the person who came is a demigod level strongman? Everyone present was surprised. Do they know the strength of this May demon? The aura of that person is very strange. He can actually restrain my field of destruction. I have a vague feeling that he is our biggest enemy. This is absolutely impossible. Our destructive power is much more advanced than the elemental power. How is it possible that someone can restrain our destructive power? May, you must have felt it wrong. The few people present obviously did not believe it. May Devil said gloomily, if you don't believe it, you can go and try it. What he cultivates is really weird. He can use the fields of water and fire at the same time. This kind of power may be difficult to master even for our destruction clan. Moreover, within my destruction field, he was in front of me in a flash. I can clearly feel the fluctuations of space. That guy can use space magic in my field. Fortunately, I reacted very quickly and escaped by luck. His own strength does not seem to be too strong, but his methods are very weird. Is there really something in the world that can restrain the power of our destruction clan? How come someone so powerful suddenly appeared? The destruction clan present were shocked. The reason why some of them turned their backs on their original race was to pursue endless power. If our power is really restrained, then we will be in trouble. One of the Destruction Clan said dimly, "It seems that only the adults can take action personally. How can the adults care about our trivial matters? You must know that the 3rd and 4th generals have come out of the seal, and the adults have all gone to the 3rd and 4th generals. Is that guy really as amazing as you say?" A deep voice sounded. Everyone present turned their heads to look and saw a skinny man in a black robe with loose hair walking in from the huge cave entrance in the mountain. The cold aura was exactly the same as this, but recently the aura on this man was stronger and purer, just like a demon returning from hell, emitting a terrifying aura. "Boss." The members of the Destruction Clan present all said respectfully in unison. They knew very well how powerful their boss was. Their boss had fought a demigod one-on-one and was able to escape and save his life. In the absence of the demigod, he was already a top-level existence. I went to the human territory and captured some humans. The blood donated by these humans plus those we captured originally should be enough for sacrifice. The black-robed man said, "Only destruction can be eternal. Rescue all the adults and break through this world." The black-robed man seemed to have discovered something. His face was ferocious and his pupils were glowing green. "What's the matter with me, devil? The aura of destruction in your body has weakened so much that even your soul has been injured." "Boss, we followed the instructions of the adults to capture some humans, but we encountered a human with good strength. I originally wanted to capture that human for sacrifice, but that guy's methods were very strange, and he actually restrained our field of destruction." May Devil hurriedly replied respectfully. The black-robed man frowned. "Oh, so powerful? There are actually people who can restrain your destruction domain. Are you sure that it is not suppressing your destruction domain?" "I'm sure that it is definitely not suppressing my destruction domain. He can use the power of water and fire at the same time. If it is really as May said, that guy is really powerful. I'm afraid that none of us can defeat him. Only the boss can kill him. Once the boss makes a move, no matter how powerful he is, he will definitely surrender and become our sacrifice obediently." One by one, they flattered him. The black-robed man glanced at the group of Destruction Tribe members. "Just one ninja makes you helpless. Humph, the adults are brewing a big plan and cannot be distracted. You can't even do this well. Just look at these human beings I captured." "Yes, boss." The Destruction Tribe members responded in unison. Although they hated the boss in front of them very much, the guy in front of them was too powerful, so they had no intention of resisting at all. Many of these bound humans came from the ancestral land. Their strength was very strong among the human race, but they were no match for the cruel and brutal Destruction Clan. Many humans had been beaten half to death. There was actually no difference between watching and not watching. It was just that the monster in their minds ordered them to do so, and they dared not disobey. Chapter 515 Temptation. "You are deliberately restraining the field of destruction? I'd like to see." The man in black robe snorted and strode out immediately. "If that's the case, we must nip it in the bud. Yunfan and his team have saved a lot of people along the way, but as the number of rescuers increased, their mood became worse and worse. Woo." After leaving the cave, the man in black robe took some time to catch up with Yunfan and his team. The man in black robe seemed to be afraid of being discovered by Yunfan, so he kept wrapping his figure with black mist. A black figure could be vaguely seen in the distance, and the black figure was looking at Yunfan with interest, being able to control the power of water and fire at the same time. "This kid seems to be very extraordinary. If he can transform it into our Destruction Clan, he will definitely be a general. If he can't be used by me, then I can only destroy him. Forget it, let's catch this kid first." Boo. The black-robed man was holding a crystal glass bottle in one hand and uncorked it. A faint fragrance began to be released from the porcelain bottle. This crystal bottle contained a strange alchemical potion, the intoxicating potion. This potion had a strong hallucinogenic effect. Even a holy strongman would be directly intoxicated if he was not careful. Although the name of this intoxicating potion was very attractive, it was indeed notorious on the mainland. No one wanted to be easily intoxicated. Fortunately, the preparation of this potion was very complicated and not widely circulated on the mainland. Just smelling the smell, a holy strongman would almost faint directly. Because he could make this potion, others called him the boss, and he had a high status in the Destruction Clan. Hurry up and fall down. The black figure looked at Ji Yunfan expectantly. Ji Yunfan, sitting on his mount, felt a fragrance coming into his nose and suddenly felt his whole body soften. He immediately became alert and hurriedly circulated the Dao Luo Dao Qi in his body. This Dao Luo Dao Qi was much stronger than other Dao Qi on the continent. Although he felt faintly dizzy, he quickly resisted the feeling as soon as the Dao Qi in his body circulated. Although his condition had improved, the people around him did fall to the ground one by one. Damn it. The people present were powerless to resist, and their expressions were filled with endless fear. Where did the despicable villain come from to do this behind the scenes? Ji Yunfan shouted. Ha ha ha, it's really a very strange physique, it's hard to bewitch. The black-robed man in the distance came over. If this physique is transformed into a destructive physique, it must be very powerful, and it may even surpass the so-called gods. TSK. Not bad, not bad. No matter how powerful other saints are, even if they are powerful, they will fall down after smelling it, so they are not worth much. Your flesh and blood is very good. Even if it can't be transformed into a destructive physique, it can be used as a sacrifice. The effect is probably much stronger than that of ordinary saints. The black-robed man sighed to himself. Ji Yunfan was staring at the black-robed man in the distance, holding the Dao Luo sword in his hand, and he was more cautious than ever before, because the man in the distance brought him a very strange pressure. Although this pressure is not as strong as the real demigod level, it should not be underestimated. It seems that he should be a peak saint, and there is a special aura on him. That aura belongs to the Destruction Clan. Obviously, the guy in front of him may belong to the Destruction Clan. The saint and the peak strongman. Are you from the Destruction Clan? Ji Yunfan stared at them. What exactly does your Destruction Clan want to do? The black-robed man answered the question irrelevantly, looking at Ji Yunfan with a smile. If I'm not mistaken, you should be from this underground world, right? Ji Yunfan was shocked. Although some people knew that they were from the surface world, they were only a very small minority. The other party actually knew that they were from the surface world, which was a bit intriguing. It seems that I was not wrong. The black-robed man sighed. The human race in the entire underground world has fallen into such a state. How can there be such a young saint? What do you want to say? Ji Yunfan looked at the other party. The black-robed man said with emotion, nothing. I just want to confirm your identity. I'm ordered by the adults to capture a large number of human races in this place, and the adults seem to want to attack the surface world. If so, I can't use you as a sacrifice. I will hand you over to the adults when I come back, and let the adults make a decision. I should be able to get a big reward. Ji Yunfan was shocked. The other party was already dissatisfied with the underground world. In fact, these things have just happened recently. A large number of human races have been captured crazily. The Destruction Clan borrowed the hatred of the alien race for the human race. Wait until the adults' plan is implemented. The black-robed man looked at Ji Yunfan. At that time, whether it is the underground world or the surface world, it will belong to our Destruction Clan. Ji Yunfan was horrified. What exactly does the Destruction Clan want to do? The reason why the Destruction Clan is called the Destruction Clan is because they believe that the meaning of their existence is to destroy this world and recreate a new world. This kind of people is the same as the terrorists on Earth. Anyone who has anything to do with sacrifice will not have a good thing. The Destruction Clan is probably trying to use the underground world as a springboard to destroy the entire world. Thinking of this, Ji Yunfan's face turned pale. You guys from the Destruction Clan should not exist in this world. Ji Yunfan suppressed his anger and stared at the black-robed man. The black-robed man laughed strangely and said, Genius of the surface world, you don't think that you are invincible with just a small saint level. I will give you two choices now. The first choice is that you follow me and let me transform you into our Destruction Clan. At that time, your strength will be improved to an extraordinary level. The second choice is that you fight me and I will kill you or enslave you. He just wanted Ji Yunfan to be extremely angry. When people are extremely angry, they will lose their calmness. If they are not calm, then he will have a better chance of winning this battle. However, what he said is actually the truth and his own idea. After transforming into the Destruction Clan, the black-robed man is like an enemy of the world. Almost everyone wants to kill him, so he also understands that he should not underestimate any opponent. Even though the boy in front of him is just a teenager, he might have some extraordinary means. If that's the case, then we'll take it and see the real deal. Chapter 516 5 Element. You have to be able to show your true strength to your subordinates. Go to hell. Yunfan followed the principle of striking first and rushed up directly like a tiger descending from the mountain, rushing straight to the black-robed man with irresistible momentum. Humph, so uncalm. Let me see how powerful your genius in the surface world is. The black-robed man thought to himself. She took out a black spear from somewhere in her hand and began to greet Yunfan like a ghost. When the two approached, the black spear actually shot out black silk, covering Yunfan. Because the distance was too close and the black silk was too sudden, even if Yunfan was extremely powerful, it was difficult to block it all. Fortunately, the yin-yang Teikai diagram surrounding Yunfan's body resisted the black silk. When the black silk passed through the Teikai Bagua diagram, it made a squeaking sound, as if something was corroded. What a weird black silk. The Daoluo sword in Yunfan's hand stabbed out like a meteor. The figure of the black-robed man was like a demon, and the spear in his hand occasionally released black threads. Although Yunfan didn't know what these black threads were, he expected that there would be no good results after being touched, so he was very careful to avoid them, trying not to touch them. What a powerful human boy. The black-robed man was secretly surprised. He had never thought that there would be someone who could fight with him in the early stage of the saint level. That strange pattern should be a kind of domain. It actually affected my body movement. The destructive energy I released was indeed restrained. Fortunately, my destructive energy is much stronger than the fighting spirit in his body. Otherwise this weird pattern alone would make me feel exhausted. Demon Sealing Sword Technique. Killing Evil. The Daoluo sword in Yunfan's hand was like a meteor, crossing the void in an instant. A sword light instantly penetrated the black silk barrier of the black-robed man. The black-robed man retreated immediately. Although he had fled far away, the sword still pierced his chest, and his face gradually became ferocious. You damned little devil. I didn't expect that you have such a powerful method. What is this weird pattern of yours? Why have I never heard of it? My destruction silk can't be broken. It seems that I still have to break it with my strength. Increase the output of the destruction power. The 4th level of power is not enough. I will use 70% of my strength. I want to see how you resist. The black spear in his hand once again burst out with an unprecedented black light, followed by more black silk released from the rape. At the same time, the black-robed man's body began to surround the black flames, and a strong breath with a strong sense of destruction began to spread. This thing is called the destruction silk. It's really powerful and weird. Yunfan was secretly shocked. Although his King Didao and his domain gave the other party a sense of restraint, how could he not have this feeling? The power of creation and the power of destruction are the two most fundamental powers. They are mutually opposed and interdependent, just like the magical gossip, and they will restrain each other. He found out in the previous fight that the black-robed man was not weak, and his methods were very strange. Those black things were like attached maggots, always entangled around him, and his methods were more sinister. How strong is this bastard? Yunfan thought to himself, is it just as he said? Just now he only used 40% of his strength, and now he uses 70% of his strength. Yunfan felt that the pressure he faced was getting greater and greater. Take it. Destruction strike. The black-robed man turned into a black shadow, and the spear in his hand was raised high. In an instant, the long stick quickly grew larger. The spear itself was probably not light, and it smashed towards Yunfan on the head. Yunfan held the Daoluo divine sword horizontally in his hand, and the powerful King Didao bloomed. Ding. With a loud noise, Yunfan flew backwards involuntarily. The black-robed man was also hit hard. The two of them plowed a deep trench on the ground. Yunfan felt his chest getting hot and couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. He looked at his right hand and found that the base of his right hand was cracked and the blood had stained the handle of the Daoluo sword red. What a strong force, much stronger than mine. Although I'm only in the early stage of the saint rank, I can be comparable to the warriors in the late saint rank. This black-robed man is actually stronger than me. I'm afraid he is also a warrior who focuses on cultivating his physical body. Yunfan knew that he had really met his opponent. Although he was confident that he could escape, if he couldn't beat him, the human race behind him who was stunned by the opponent would definitely not have a good ending. It is much more difficult to kill a peak saint rank, not to mention that the opponent is from the Destroyer clan, which is even more difficult. I wonder if you can take a few of my moves. The black-robed man's eyes were faintly glowing with black light, and he strode towards Yunfan, like a demon returning from hell. When he approached Yunfan, the spear in his hand actually stabbed out powerful black silk at the same time. These black silks are getting more and more disgusting. Yunfan was furious, and saw a pattern of yin-yang Bhagavad-Gita diagram appear under his feet again, and the common in his hand also bloomed with colorful light. This colorful light represents the power of 5 element, the red power of fire element, the blue power of water element, the cyan power of wood element, the golden power of wood element, and the yellow power of earth element. These 5 elemental powers represent the 5 element that once appeared on the earth. This is Yunfan's sublimation of power. After feeling the power of the stars, the 5 element are mutually generated and restrained. Under the blessing of these 5 element, Yunfan feels that his power has reached a new level. Yunfan's speed increased again, and he was like a lightning bird, so fast and strange, like a gust of wind blowing, constantly changing direction. Although he did not achieve a force effect of space transfer, his body movement was able to distort the void, making it hard to defend. The Daluo sword in his hand slashed at the black-robed man again and again. Damn bastard, what on earth are you doing? The black-robed man was completely insane, because he felt that his power was being suppressed by the power of the 5 element bit by bit. This feeling made him feel very aggrieved. He wanted to find a place to vent, but he had no idea where to start. The black-robed man madly injected the destructive energy in his body into the black spear. The spear was originally a very powerful weapon of destruction, with strange destructive runes on it. The destructive energy could make these destructive runes more powerful. Chapter 517 means. The spear shot out like a dragon, with a cold light. The guy of the destruction clan, everyone has the right to kill him. Go to hell. Yunfan was also like a demon, because he knew that he must not lose. If he lost, he would not be the only one to die. Kill. 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 Yunfan relied on the blessing of the 5 element to be as fast as a ghost, even faster than the black-robed man. The Daluo sword in his hand, which had been blessed by the King Emperor Key, was even sharper. The true meaning of the sword god was suppressing the black-robed man. The sword intention of the sword god on the Daluo sword was completely stimulated. Puff. The Daluo sword instantly gained momentum and turned into a blade of light, directly cutting off one of the black-robed man's arms. Then the black-robed man had a big wound on his back and a scar on his face. Suffering such a serious injury, the black-robed man was completely mad. Because he had transformed into the destruction clan, he was rarely injured, and it was very easy to ravage the peak of the saint level. Unexpectedly, he encountered a tough guy this time. Although the opponent's realm is much lower, his methods are strange, and the strange field has a very serious restraint on him. In a flash of lightning, Yunfan was not careful and was picked up by the spear. Yunfan suffered a little loss. Yunfan's swordsmanship is well controlled, and it is not an exaggeration to describe it as unpredictable. Yunfan's demon-sealing swordsmanship is no longer completely created by the sword god, because Yunfan has added his understanding of power. Puff. The abdomen of the black-robed man was instantly pierced by Yunfan's sword move, and a huge wound appeared, and a lot of blood flowed out. Awesome. Awesome. The black-robed man gritted his teeth. I didn't expect you could launch such a powerful attack with your human body, but it's good this way. Killing a genius of the human race will make me feel very satisfied. Just as Yunfan and the Daoluo divine sword pounced on the black-robed man, a black light suddenly appeared on his body, and endless black light condensed around him. At the same time, the surrounding rocks and ground began to be corroded by the black air, and the surrounding black non-destructive air became thicker and thicker, making it hard to breathe. Seeing that the situation was not good, Ji Yunfan even retreated to the back, and the fishy smell still entered his nose. Although he had already held his breath, the breath still eroded from his body. If you don't accept the assimilation of the destructive air, you will die. Now I give you a choice. Do you want to turn into a pool of water, or become a member of my destructive clan? The black-robed man said in a cold tone. The destructive energy released by the black-robed man this time is no longer a simple destructive energy, but the essence of the destructive energy. This power itself is not much, and it is left by his so-called senior, when he transformed him into a member of the destruction clan. This essence of the destructive energy is very mysterious. Once it is touched, it will quickly erode the body, until it becomes a pool of water. Otherwise, it will be assimilated by the essence of the destructive energy, and become a member of the destruction clan. Even he must rely on the support of that big man to survive. The young man in front of him is obviously weaker than him in strength, so he thinks that Ji Yunfan has a higher chance of turning into blood. This method has always been the killer of the black-robed man. He never thought that he would use this method on someone with a lower realm than himself. No matter how talented you are, in front of the essence of the destructive energy, you are just a jumping clown. When I transformed into the destruction clan, I was already close to the peak of the saint level. Even I can't stand it. You are doomed to die. The black-robed man looked forward to it, as if he had seen Ji Yunfan's tragic ending. Ji Yunfan's face changed. He felt that this destructive energy was different from the past. This destructive energy was purer than the one he used at the beginning. He had encountered this feeling on the 3rd and 4th generals. Ji Yunfan naturally didn't know that the use of the destructive energy was divided into 369 levels in the destruction clan. Those who had just transformed into the destruction clan were only in the primary stage. Those who had been enjoying it for dozens of years could already use more advanced destructive energy. For example, the destructive energy used by the 3rd and 4th generals had already reached the stage of divine power, so it was difficult for those demigods to resist. This very strange black essence of the destructive energy eroded Ji Yunfan, and he felt numbness eroding his whole body instantly. Do you know? I only have this much essence, and now I use it all on you. You should feel very honored. The black-robed man was full of hatred. You should know that he originally wanted to use the remaining essence of the destructive energy to break through, but now he used it for comparison. The reason why he chose to transform into the destruction clan was because of his desire to improve his own strength. Hold on. The fighting spirit of the Green Emperor in Ji Yunfan's body began to circulate rapidly. The Green Emperor possessed the divine duties of life and divine punishment. In the last era, he was a god with very strong recovery ability. Coupled with the existence of the world tree, Ji Yunfan's body was filled with endless vitality, and the powerful vitality was also expelling the aura of destruction. Die. Ji Yunfan tried his best to suppress and expel the essence of the aura of destruction in his body, and at the same time, he rushed towards the black-robed man quickly. At this moment, his eyes were already red, and he rushed straight to the black-robed man not far away. Regardless of whether he could expel the essence of the aura of destruction, he had to kill the person in front of him first. Hahaha, it's time. You are still expelling resistance. The aura of destruction is not something a little guy like you can resist. The black-robed man was also holding a spear, surrounded by the aura of destruction. Seeing Ji Yunfan's attack, he did not show a trace of panic, but angrily attacked. Go to hell. He raised the spear in his hand high and stabbed Ji Yunfan. Ji Yunfan felt that his consciousness was a little blurred. Swish, swish. However, Ji Yunfan still relied on his sense of danger and turned into an arc like a ghost, dodging the angry attack of the black-robed man from the side. Kill, kill, kill. Ji Yunfan's mind became increasingly unclear. While the Green Emperor's fighting spirit was running, the Shura fighting spirit mixed with the destructive spirit also started running, and pounced on the black-robed man with the spear in his hand to meet Ji Yunfan. Although the black-robed man felt that he knew Ji Yunfan very well, he still underestimated Ji Yunfan. He never thought that the opponent's attack actually contained the destructive spirit. The Daoluo sword in Ji Yunfan's hand suddenly flew up, and with lightning speed, it directly pierced the black-robed man's head. Chapter 518, Killing. Because the distance was too close, He didn't expect Yunfan to be able to control the Daoluo sword to fly, and the Daoluo sword suddenly flew out from behind. The black-robed man didn't have eyes on his back, and when he faintly felt the air fluctuations, it was too late. Stab. Under the control of Yunfan's mental power, the Daoluo sword was incredibly fast, and cut directly towards the black-robed man's head. No. Blood flowed down the black-robed man's head, and he staggered and collapsed to the ground. No one expected that Yunfan's sword would be so fierce. The sword light went straight through the black-robed man's temple, and brought out some brain blood. Very good. The man's temporary counterattack contained all his strength. The powerful force directly shocked Yunfan back several steps. The black-robed man's temple had been pierced. Even if the body of the Destruction Clan was strong, I'm afraid he couldn't survive. The Destruction Clan has a very strong vitality, so the black-robed man still has a breath. He stared at Yunfan, and tried to open his mouth. How can you be so powerful? Then the whole person knelt on the ground, causing the ground to shake. Yunfan stood there, and panted a little. He stared at the corpse in front of him. This Destruction Clan is very strange. Maybe it won't die, even if the head is chopped off. Don't worry, this guy's dead, Sakadan said. But the guy I met last time. The guy last time was a special case. I've seen it in the family's classics. The Destruction Clan is just a general name for those who practice the power of destruction. The guy you met last time should be a creature similar to the undead created by someone using soul taboo magic. The strength of this black-robed Destruction Clan guy is obviously much stronger than the previous Destruction Clan guy. It is estimated that he has a high status in the Destruction Clan and may know more news. Yunfan walked to the body of the black-robed man and took a closer look. He couldn't help but frowned. This guy was a human before he transformed into the Destruction Clan. As expected, both aliens and humans have transformed into the Destruction Clan. But he has a lot of things on him, but I don't know how useful they are to me. Forget it, I'll check it out later. Yunfan put away the space ring of the black-robed man, and then released a ball of fire to burn the black-robed man's body directly. Yunfan naturally didn't know that the moment he killed the black-robed man, the face of a black-robed man sitting under the 3rd and 4th generals changed. What happened to the high priest? The 3rd general asked directly. A very talented boy under my command was killed. The black-robed man called the high priest said gloomily. Let him die. Don't let this matter affect our plan. Otherwise, you know the consequences. The 3rd general continued. Don't worry, general. At the same time, in a strange cave, several guys from the Destruction Clan were talking and laughing there. Haha, if our boss takes action, that guy will definitely die. I'm afraid that our boss is more thrifty and will transform him into a member of the Destroyer Clan. What if he transforms into a member of the Destroyer Clan? He has just been transformed, and he must be very weak at this time. We can take this opportunity to kill him. I didn't expect that going to the Ancestral Land this time would be so thrilling. I really don't know what kind of crisis we will face after going to the Ancestral Land. Even so, we must go to the Ancestral Land. Once the Ancestral Land is gone, the human race will have no choice but to perish. After Yunfan dealt with the man in black robes, the leaders of the human coalition woke up one after another, and then the other human races slowly woke up one by one. After hearing Yunfan's story, their faces became very ugly, and their expressions were a little depressed. Can we help after we go there? There was no way. They had to doubt that. If it weren't for Yunfan's help along the way, I'm afraid that everyone present would have lost their lives. Everyone, don't think so much. Our most important task now is to go to the Ancestral Land first. Who are you? Why are you here? Yunfan and his companions had just arrived at the edge of the Ancestral Land when they were surrounded by many human races. Because we heard that someone came to attack the Ancestral Land, we came from other tribes of the human race and hope to help the Ancestral Land. What's the matter with them? Looking at the human races who were rescued along the way, the other party couldn't help but ask cautiously. We met several alien teams on the way here, and we rescued all these people. Shankar's father said. Did you encounter alien teams when you came here? Yes. In that case, then you follow me first. After examining Ji Yunfan and his companions, the leading human race nodded and then led Ji Yunfan and his companions to the ancestral land. Friend, I have some medicinal herbs here, which may help the ancestors' injuries. I wonder if you can recommend them. Ji Yunfan said, taking out some medicinal herbs from the garden world from his space ring. Dragon blood grass, phoenix flower, 7-star wood. Although the herbs Ji Yunfan took out were nothing to him, the human race present was indeed surprised, because the ancestral land also sent people to the archaic plane to find some opportunities, but they all gained very little. Now a human teenager actually took out so many precious herbs, which naturally made them feel very incredible. This little brother, please wait a moment, I will ask the elder to come. The human race turned around and left quickly, and soon came back with a grey-haired old man. Ji Yunfan felt a strong pressure from this old man. He had encountered this kind of pressure on the archaic plane. Although his strength was a little worse than those peak demigods, it was expected that he had already entered the realm of demigods. I wonder if the little brother can ask me to take a look at the herbs you got. Ji Yunfan nodded slightly and took out the herbs from the space ring. The old man took the herbs from Ji Yunfan, and then his expression became a little excited. Yes, these herbs should be able to help the ancestor a little. I wonder if the little brother can. Before the elder finished speaking, Ji Yunfan said in a calm tone, I brought these herbs here, to give to the ancestor. Chapter 519 Ancestor. Thank you, little brother, for your understanding. With these herbs, I believe the ancestor's injury should be better. I wonder if I can meet the ancestor. You know, I'm also a pharmacist. Maybe I can help. This. Is there any difficulty? Great Elder. This. The human race following the Great Elder looked at Ji Yunfan with some caution. There are some difficulties, but the ancestor's injury. The white-haired old man hesitated for a moment, and finally made up his mind. Then you come with me. Great Elder, what if he? This matter is settled. The man wanted to say, what if he came to assassinate the ancestor, but before he could finish his words, the Great Elder interrupted him. After speaking, he took Ji Yunfan out of the door. Ji Yunfan was taken to a cave by the Great Elder. In the cave, an old man in white clothes sat on a stone bed with a pale face. Ancestor. The Great Elder bowed respectfully to the old man sitting on the stone bed. It's now. What can I do for you? The white-haired old man said calmly. My dear, this little brother said he is a doctor and wants to help you check your injuries. The elder responded respectfully. I know my injuries well. The white-haired old man glanced at Ji Yunfan, then shook his head and said, my injuries cannot be cured by medicine. Senior, there is nothing absolute in this world. Maybe I can help a little, but not necessarily. Otherwise, how about letting me check it out? Ji Yunfan bowed respectfully to the white-haired old man. The white-haired old man saw that Ji Yunfan looked very serious and couldn't help but smile, and then said lightly, since you want to see my condition, come here. The white-haired old man didn't feel a trace of murderous aura from Ji Yunfan and thought that the other party would not harm him. He was now trying his best. According to his current condition, he would only live for half a year at most. That's an offense. Senior. Ji Yunfan said as he walked towards the white-haired old man. Senior? You little guy called me senior, so I don't look like I'm from this underground world, right? The old man said casually. Yes senior, I'm from the surface world. Ji Yunfan naturally didn't need to hide his origins. I didn't expect that the little guy actually came from the surface world. How is the surface world developing now? The white-haired old man seemed to be immersed in deep memories. You know, I have been to the surface world 1200 years ago. I didn't expect that you senior have been to the surface world. Then why don't you stay in the surface world? The life in this underground world is very different from the life in the surface world. Because I have reasons to stay. The white-haired old man smiled and shook his head. How can you see my physical condition? Senior, your physical condition is very strange. It feels that all the organs in your body have been decayed and aged, but it feels that the decay and aging are not natural. This kind of thing seems to be due to some kind of rule power. I didn't expect that you, little guy, could discover so much. The white-haired old man was stunned after hearing Ji Yunfan's words. You know, ordinary people can't see the source of his condition, and he didn't tell others about his injuries. And you, little guy, actually know the power of rules. If Yunfan hadn't obtained the crystal of the world, he really didn't know that this situation was caused by the power of rules. But it shouldn't be. Is there anyone in this world who can use the power of rules? Yunfan was full of doubts. Suddenly, he thought of a possibility and looked at the old man in front of him in disbelief. Senior, you didn't want to force a breakthrough, but you were backlashed by the power of rules. I didn't expect that you, a little guy, would have such insight. You are right. The injury on my body was backlashed by the rules when I forced a breakthrough. The old man in white looked at Yunfan in surprise. He was more and more curious about Yunfan's ID card. Those who can know the backlash of rules are usually old guys like him. Even ordinary old guys may not be able to see the backlash of rules. Little guy, do you think I'm hopeless now? The old man in white said with a wry smile. Yunfan was silent for a moment. He didn't speak, but frowned and thought. Little guy, do you think you can help me heal the injury of rules? Senior, can you tell me what's going on? Yunfan didn't answer affirmatively or deny it, but asked the old man instead. The old man in white was slightly stunned when he saw this situation. He had expected several performances of Yunfan, but Yunfan's current performance was unexpectedly different from what he expected. Suddenly, he felt that this mysterious little guy in front of him might really be able to cure his injuries. However, he quickly denied this idea. How could the injury of rules be cured? Since you, little guy, want to know, I will tell you. The old man in white had a complicated look in his eyes, and then he asked, little guy, how much do you know about the human race in the underground world? I heard that it was to prevent the counterattack of the alien races in the underground world, and they moved from the surface world to the underground world. This statement is right and wrong. Everyone thinks it is to prevent the counterattack of the alien races, but this is not the fundamental reason. The fundamental reason is here. The old man in white pointed to the underground passage. Yunfan was slightly stunned. To be honest, he really didn't find any mystery. He couldn't help but want to release his shadow demon, but no matter how he contacted, he couldn't sense the existence of the shadow demon, as if he had lost contact with the alien space where the shadow demon was stored. This was the first time he encountered such a situation. Yunfan couldn't help but frowned. Little guy, did you find something? The old man in white said with a smile. To be honest, senior, I used to practice dark magic full time and signed a contract with the shadow demon, but I couldn't sense the existence of the shadow demon here. Yunfan replied. The old man in white nodded slightly. No wonder your mental power is so strong. It turns out that you practiced magic. The reason why you can't summon the shadow demon here is because there is a very powerful magic array here. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 520 Meeting. There is actually a very powerful magic circle here. Yunfan showed a surprised expression on his face. Why can't I feel it at all? Because the magic circle here has surpassed the god level. Magic circle that exceeds the god level? Yunfan was slightly stunned and couldn't help but asked curiously, what is the function of this magic circle? A peerless demon is sealed under this magic circle. Is the existence of this ancestral land just to guard this seal? To prevent this peerless demon from escaping from the seal? Yunfan took a deep breath and said, yes. But what does this have to do with the injury you suffered? Because every once in a while, the sealed peerless demon will attack the magic circle, trying to escape from the seal, and those alien races in the dungeon want to cooperate with the peerless demon in the seal to satisfy their ambitions. The last time the peerless demon attacked the magic circle, those guys in the dungeon came together. In order to prevent their plan from coming true, I had to forcibly break through my own limitations and rely on the power of the lower true gods to completely repel those guys in the dungeon and suppress the peerless demon in the magic circle. And because of this, I was hurt by the rules of this world. The white-clothed human ancestor smiled bitterly. Now I have become this dying old man. Those guys know that I, an old man, will not be able to survive. So now they are bullying my human race. But I'm really powerless now. So that's the situation. No wonder the senior was injured by the rules. At the same time, Yunfan has begun to communicate with the world crystal in his mind. Since he got the world crystal, he can now control a trace of the power of the world rules, but it is only a trace. If he wants to completely control the world crystal and control more of the power of the world rules, his strength must be further improved. Although he can only control this trace of the power of the world rules, Yunfan still feels that he has a certain degree of confidence in helping the ancestors of the human race to remove the rule injury. Senior, if you trust me, I can try it, because the holy level domain I master is a little different. Maybe it has a certain effect on your injury. Yunfan dare not say that he has the world crystal. He attributed his ability to heal the rule injury to his own domain. In this way, even if other people know that he has healed the rule injury, they will not come to plunder by force. Everyone's domain is different, which is something that God has already destined and cannot be changed in any way. The holy domain you master? The eyes of the white-clothed human ancestor were full of surprise. Are you sure that your domain can heal the injury of rules? Senior, of course I can't be sure. Yunfan couldn't help but smile bitterly. How is this possible? I have never encountered the injury of rules before. This time is just an attempt, but I feel that it will play a certain role. I don't know if the senior dares to try it. You should know my current physical condition. I'm afraid that I can't hold on for a few months if I continue like this. Instead of letting me die in such a cowardly way, it is better to let you, the little guy, see. Maybe there will be some miracles. The white-clothed human ancestor said half jokingly. In fact, he was not confident that Yunfan could heal his own rules. What is the injury of rules? That has already involved the origin of heaven and earth. Even if it is an ordinary god, if you want to heal the injury of rules, you also need a constant source of faith. This belief is actually a kind of rule, but this belief is exclusive to gods. Even if it is given to ordinary people, that person cannot use it and will not use it. Yunfan naturally didn't know that the power of faith could heal the injuries of the rules, and he himself had the power of faith, which meant that he had already been a prepared god. Even if he knew, he couldn't use his power of faith to heal the injuries of the ancestor of the clan. Otherwise, once it was spread out, I'm afraid no one would be able to save him. You must know that the power of faith has always been exclusive to the gods. If he used the power of faith, he would have violated the taboos of the gods. I'm afraid that none of the gods who are high above would let him go. Perfect world, start. Yunfan unfolded his holy domain and wrapped him and the human ancestor in it. The human ancestor in white was curiously perceiving Yunfan's domain. Because of the injuries of the rules, he was now completely powerless to fight back. Even a first level warrior could cause him great harm. To be honest, it was the first time that the human ancestor saw such a special domain. It seemed that nothing had changed in the domain, and it seemed that everything had changed. What a strange domain barrier. It's really a magical boy. You have to know that other people's barrier domains are all focused on a certain kind of power, using a certain power as the support of the domain, and everyone will feel a certain kind of strong attribute power. And the other powers within that domain space will be greatly suppressed. When a person's domain power reaches a certain height, it will completely suppress the power of other attributes around him. This is why a strong man in the holy domain is like a god when he encounters those below the holy domain, because those people below the holy domain can only rely on their own power to fight. When they mobilize the power around him, those warriors are better. If they are magicians, they cannot resonate with the element outside, and they can only be slaughtered. So below the holy domain, magicians are much stronger than warriors, but after reaching the holy domain, warriors are much stronger than magicians. If there are still a few strong people who reach the holy domain, the status of magicians on the continent has always been very high. But it cannot be said that magicians are definitely inferior to warriors after reaching the holy domain. These are only relative, because if a magician wants to break through the holy domain, His physical body must be strong enough, otherwise, he simply cannot bear the power of mental strength and magic element. The elder saw that Yunfan dared to open his domain, and he couldn't help but want to stop him. If Yunfan was an assassin, then he would be to blame. Don't worry, this little guy won't do anything to me. The white-clothed human ancestor stopped the elder and said in a very calm tone, I feel the heart of a child in him, and he will definitely not harm me. Chapter 521 The Great Elder's Request. But, seeing the expression of the human ancestor, the elder no longer stopped him, but still looked at Yunfan with a wary face. If Yunfan did anything weird, he would definitely take action. Although he looked at Yunfan with a wary face, he was still very interested in Yunfan's domain, because he felt that, if he opened his domain, he might also be suppressed by Yunfan's domain, which made him feel very confused. Now, you look very confused now. Ancestor, what's going on? Didn't I tell you a long time ago? The domain is also divided into 369 levels. The lowest level of the domain is composed of the most basic element, and the slightly higher level is composed of multiple basic element. The higher level is the domain composed of extremely special forces such as practical space and time. Above this, there are many very special domains, and this little guy's domain is one of them. Yunfan used his own domain power as a cover, but in fact he was using the power of the crystal of the world to slowly change the rules around the human ancestor. Although the strength of the human race ancestor is gone, his vision remains. After living for so many years, he has already understood the rules of this world. The human race ancestor feels very incredible about the slight change in the surrounding rules. How is it possible? Although the human race ancestor asked Yunfan to try to treat his injuries, he didn't think Yunfan could do it at all. What's the matter, ancestor? Is he trying to harm you? The elder asked in a panic, and was about to attack Yunfan while talking. What are you going to do? Now, for Yunfan's ability to change the rules around him, he had already given up hope, but his thoughts were actually burning again. Who would want to die if they can live? He looked at his descendants and wanted to attack Yunfan, but he couldn't help but stop him. If Yunfan got into trouble, there would really be no one who could save him. Ancestor. The elder was a little confused. Feeling the anger of the human race ancestor, he became panicked. If you mess with each other here again, get out. Since the human ancestor was injured, he has never lost his temper so much. So that's how it is. Yunfan tried to control the crystal of the world to change the rules of the world around the old man, while trying to draw the power of the rules from the ancestor into his own domain. Although it was only a slight change, the face of the human ancestor showed an incredible expression. There was actually someone who could heal the injury of the rules, which was beyond his cognition. This was something that even the gods could not do, and it was unexpected that it was done by a little guy. Although his injuries only improved slightly, it was already a good start. You have to know that he was sitting there waiting to die the previous second, and he had hope of survival the next second. Even he, an old monster who had lived for thousands of years, couldn't help but feel unbelievable. Yunfan's domain also gradually changed. He felt that his domain was being strengthened by the rules little by little. It should be said that the laws of this world were integrated into his domain. He felt that his understanding of the power of the world had deepened. Originally, he knew the power, but not the reason. Now he felt that he was a god in his own domain. It seemed that everything was under his control. At this moment, he felt that, even if he met a strong man of the higher level of the saint rank, he could suppress the other party in terms of domain. However, Yunfan's speed of extracting the rule injury from the human ancestor was getting slower and slower. After only integrating 2 or 3 strands of rules, the large domain was saturated and could no longer extract the rule power from the human ancestor. Feeling that the rule power he had extracted was saturated, Yunfan hurriedly stopped extracting, because what he was doing now was an attempt. He didn't dare to do it too much, otherwise if he was reversed by the rule power, although he thought he would not die with the help of the world crystal, he would also lose a layer of skin. Little guy, why did you stop? I feel that my injuries have improved a lot. The human ancestor asked hurriedly, and his eagerness was completely different from when he first met him. Senior, I have absorbed your rule power now, and it has been saturated. I need to digest it well, before I can continue. Yunfan smiled bitterly. If possible, I really want to ask you to remove all the rule injuries, but I really can't do it now. Yes, my request is really a bit harsh, little guy. I'm really sorry. The human ancestor said apologetically. You know, an old guy like me naturally can't want to die. The reason why I was so calm was because I felt that I would never be able to heal my injuries, but now you have given me hope. I understand, Senior. Yunfan smiled and nodded. Being able to absorb these rule powers, Yunfan felt that it was very beneficial to his growth. I wonder how the Senior feels now. I feel very good now. Since I was injured by the rules, I have never felt so comfortable. The human ancestor said excitedly. Originally, I could probably live for 3 or 4 months. Now I should have no problem living for half a year. Although my own strength has not recovered much, it should not be a problem to deal with small fish and shrimps. The human ancestor said, while waving his hand to release a Dalki blade. The Dalki blade should have the attack of a sky warrior. Oh my god, ancestor, your injury has really recovered. Seeing his ancestor casually waving the Dalki blade, the elder couldn't help but exclaimed. You are already old, don't you know how to be more stable? The human ancestor blew his beard and glared, which really meant that the officials were allowed to set fires, while not letting the people light lamps. The elder nodded, but secretly retorted in his heart, Ancestor, what did you look like just now, and you still have the nerve to say that to me? I don't know how many times you think you can cure the ancestor's injury, little brother. The elder asked hurriedly. I have never encountered such a situation before. My domain has absorbed the damage of the rules of my predecessors, and is now saturated. If I want to absorb some more power of rules, I must fully comprehend the power of rules. Yunfan couldn't help, but shook his head. Chapter 522 Beheading. Can the power of rules be comprehended? The great elder couldn't help but widen his eyes. You know, this is a realm that even gods cannot set foot in. If it weren't for the crystal of the world, it would be absolutely impossible for him to absorb the power of rules these times. This power of rules is like a punishment from this world. So I said I can't be sure how long it will take to heal the injuries of the predecessor. Yunfan sighed. This power of rules is really mysterious. Then you little guy, take your time. The ancestor of the human race sighed for a long time. He knew that this kind of thing can't be rushed. At the same time, the captives held by the Destruction Clan, a bald man with scars on his body, who was tied up, roared, "You hateful aliens, when our ancestors' injuries are healed, we must kill you all. Humble human race, do you know what kind of injuries your ancestor suffered? You still want to heal the injuries, it's just wishful thinking." A guy from the Destruction Clan seemed to be amused by the other party's words and said disdainfully, "Idiot aliens. You can actually guess what our human ancestors are like. We don't know how bad they are. If you hadn't used despicable means to sneak attack our ancestors, you would be our opponents. Ha ha ha, you use some despicable means and still call yourself the strongest race. I'm laughing so hard that my stomach hurts. There are also many hard-headed people in the human race." They shouted and laughed at them one by one. "What do you lowly things know? It seems that you are too comfortable." Several guys from the Destruction Clan were enraged and shouted angrily. "Ha ha ha. If you have the guts, just kill us." One of the tied human beings was hysterical and seemed extremely crazy, as if he didn't take the people in front of him seriously at all. Damn bastards, if it weren't for the adult's plan. All the guys from the Destruction Clan present were terrified. You know, since they transformed into the Destruction Clan, they have always felt that they are superior to others. Now these human beings in front of them are undoubtedly challenging their patience. However, even though they are very uncomfortable, they have no intention of killing these people, because this is related to a big plan of their Destruction Clan. Although I can't kill you, I can make you live a life worse than death. As he spoke, one of the Destruction Clan had already taken out a dagger and used it to cut off the hands and feet of one of the human beings. "Ah. Damn bastards, you will definitely die a miserable death. Roar. The more fiercely you roar, the happier I am." The other guys from the Destruction Clan followed suit and started their abuse. "What are you all doing here? After hearing this voice, everyone present couldn't help but shudder. This voice was full of lowness and anger, just like the cold winter. Why are you here if you don't want to catch someone? What did Pete do? How could he be killed? Oh, the boss was killed? They were all panicked. Although the boss Pete had a bad temper and many people hated him, he was the strongest among them. Even without many sinister means, he was still extremely powerful. Moreover, he had a poison that even demigods were afraid of. Such a powerful guy was killed. I'm asking you a question. What was Pete doing? Why was he killed? The black-robed man who suddenly appeared was full of anger. The boss is dead. The boss is dead. This. Several guys from the Destruction Clan present looked at each other with horror in their eyes. The boss was killed by a boy of 18 or 19 years old. What? Killed by a boy of only 18 or 19 years old? Are you kidding here? Even if I'm from the Destruction Clan, is there such a monster at the age of 18 or 19? I'm afraid there are such monsters in the legend of the descendants of the gods. The black-robed man who came later obviously didn't believe it. This black-robed man was also a high-level member of the Destruction Clan, and he was very familiar with the major races on the continent. But he had never seen someone so strong at the age of 17 or 18. Tell me what happened. The black-robed man was full of anger. Okay, sir. The people of the Destruction Clan present hurriedly narrated the story. As these members of the Destruction Clan narrated, the aura of the black-robed man became stronger and stronger, revealing his dark eyes. His whole body was wrapped in the aura of destruction, and the cold aura made the members of the Destruction Clan present shudder involuntarily. Ah. The angry voice trembled. Draw the appearance of that kid for me. He actually dared to kill my own son. He must die. He must die. The several members of the Destruction Clan present were all trembling in their hearts, just like the vampires first embraced slaves. They were all infected by this black robe, and they had an innate fear of the black-robed man in front of them. They all knew that the black-robed man in front of them was more cruel than them, and no one knew what he would do after he got angry. They have always known that this adult looks at their boss differently, and now they understand that their boss is the son of this big man. A 17 or 18-year-old human boy has the strength of a saint. He is really a monster. If he hadn't killed my godson, I would have trained him to be a member of my Destruction Clan. But he killed my son. He must die. The ferocious voice was full of anger. All of you go. Find out the identity of that kid for me. I want to kill all those who are related to him. Finding the boy who killed their boss, the guys of the Destruction Clan were all shocked. You know, that boy killed their boss, and their boss's strength is much stronger than his. If they go out like this, it can be said that they are sending themselves to death. These guys of the Destruction Clan hesitated a little, but they had to execute the orders of the black-robed man. If they didn't, their fate would be very tragic. Come with me now. The black-robed man gradually calmed down, and then said to the several people of the Destruction Clan present. The guys from the Destruction Clan hurriedly followed the black-robed man out of the cave, and then followed a very strange road. The people present had never walked that strange road before. Chapter 523, Suppressing the Destruction Clan. That road has always been their taboo. Although they usually call themselves the Destruction Clan, their status is very low in the Destruction Clan. The Destruction Clan is also strictly hierarchical, and they are divided according to the level of the destruction aura. It is said that the earliest Destruction Clan appeared with the Creator God, and was called the first generation of Destruction Ancestor. The second generation of the Destruction Clan he created was called the second generation of the Emperor of Destruction. The third generation of the Destruction Clan was infected by the second generation of the Destruction Clan. With the increase of the offspring, the purity of the Destruction aura will become lower and lower, just like the several Destruction Clan present. Except for this black-robed man, who is the fourth generation of the Destruction Clan, the rest belong to the fifth generation. The fifth generation of the Destruction Clan belongs to the lowest level. If they are infected again, generally speaking, they cannot form the Destruction Clan, but become thoughtless destruction slaves, who can only act according to the words of the previous level of the Destruction Clan. Come with me quickly, what are you waiting for? The gloomy and terrifying voice was full of anger. Yes, the few members of the Destruction Clan present did not dare to hesitate any longer. They swallowed their throats, and walked to the dark path. The path was deep and almost straight, and it seemed that there was no end in sight. This is really deep. Hey, sir, where are you taking us? The guys of the Destruction Clan muttered in their hearts. At the same time, they were very curious about the situation around them, and carefully walked along the winding and strange path. There was a dazzling black light in front of them. Soon they saw a closed stone door. There was a black light on the stone door, and there were also waves that made people tremble. Where is this, sir? Why do you have so many questions? Just follow me, the man in black robe said as he pushed open the stone door. Yes. The guys from the Destruction Clan present suppressed their fear and walked in. This was a sealed stone chamber with a diameter of about several dozen meters. In the center of the stone chamber was a huge stone, which was locked with iron chains. Under the huge stone was an old man. The old man had long black hair and a pale face. His eyes were emitting a faint green light, and his whole body was filled with a physical evil aura. Not far from the old man, there was a strange cauldron. In the cauldron was placed some bloody sticky things, burning with a cold bloody flame. Above the bloody flame was floating an ancient black staff. On the staff were a series of ferocious faces that were looming, screaming, and roaring silently, fighting each other. The entire staff was surrounded by a layer of black light visible to the naked eye. Destruction aura. The several members of the Destruction Clan present were all trembling. They couldn't imagine. It's such a pure destruction aura. What on earth is this? On the body of the suppressed old man, they felt the power of suppression and the endless destruction aura. Could it be that the suppressed person in front of them was also from the Destruction Clan? Only the people of the Destruction Clan would be surrounded by the destruction aura. This destruction aura was emitted naturally. They actually felt such a strong and thrilling destruction aura on the suppressed person in front of them, proving that this suppressed person definitely had a purer destruction bloodline than them. That kind of pure evil aura made them unable to breathe. Even the visible destruction aura on the staff was too shocking. This is simply using the flesh and blood of the suppressed Destruction Clan to forcibly refine the staff. The several members of the Destruction Clan present were terrified and couldn't help but feel greedy because they knew very well how terrible it would be to refine such a staff that contained the flesh and blood of the powerful Destruction Clan. Many people who were able to abandon their original identities and join the Destruction Clan were seeking powerful strength, and the destruction staff in front of them was a powerful weapon that could strengthen them. Naturally, everyone wanted to get it. And this destruction staff was strengthened with the flesh and blood of the advanced Destruction Clan, which was naturally intimidating to the first generation Destruction Clan. My lord, what is this? This is a traitor of our Destruction Clan. He belongs to the fourth generation of the Destruction Clan like me. In fact, based on his own strength, his strength is even stronger than mine. No wonder this person can give us such a great deterrence. If we can get his destructive aura, I'm afraid we will go further. The eyes of the members of the Destruction Clan present became hot one by one, and they were too lazy to look at the suppressed man. Do you still want to devour him? This is basically impossible. Even I can't refine the destructive energy in him. Otherwise, how can I use it to refine the staff of destruction? No wonder the adults said that he is practicing a very powerful staff of destruction. Once he has mastered the staff, even the peak demigod will not be afraid. The members of the Destruction Clan held their breath. Listen, you little guys, don't spread what you see here, the old man with long hair and black robe said grimly. Wucho, what are you doing bringing these little guys here? Are you here to give me blood food? The old man who was suppressed under the boulder said evilly. Kazo, I came to you today because I want you to give these little guys a drop of essence of destruction. Yuto, are you here to make fun of me? You selfish bastard. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have ended up like this, and now you actually want my essence of destruction? Kazo, if it weren't for you committing the unforgivable sin, what would the adults do? Would they trap you here? Just be good, and listen to me, and lend me one drop of your essence of destruction. I'll say a few good words for you in front of the adults later, and then let you out. How about that? Wucho, you traitor. If it wasn't for me back then, how could you have survived? You bastard. In the end you stepped on me to get to the top. If one day I get out of here, since you committed that unforgivable sin, you will never be able to leave here. So just be good, and listen to me, and lend me a drop of essence of destruction. If you want the essence of my destructive energy, come and get it yourself. The Destruction Clan suppressed under the boulder said sarcastically, don't think that you can soar to the sky just because you are favored by that guy. Since he abandoned me, he will naturally abandon you too. Chapter 524, Bank Run. Shut up. You don't even know what happened back then. Just wait, you will regret it. I don't know if I will regret it in the future, but you will definitely regret what you said now. The black-robed man gently waved his hand at the guy who was suppressed, and then the suppressed guy seemed to be seriously injured, and suddenly spit out a mouthful of blood, but the blood was green, as if it was some kind of poison. Then the green blood was divided into 6 parts by the black-robed man. The black-robed man waved his left hand, and the green blood that he divided into 6 parts flew directly to his 6 men. His 6 men followed and looked at the green blood in their hands with fear, feeling the tremor from their souls, and their eyes became hot one by one. The essence and blood of the high-level Destruction Clan. You must know that the essence and blood of the high-level Destruction Clan is undoubtedly a great tonic for the low-level Destruction Clan like them, and it may even allow them to advance to the next level of the Destruction Clan. The value of this blood essence alone is more precious than a holy weapon to his subordinates. Moreover, the blood essence of the high-level Destruction Clan can even be used directly as a weapon. I have to complete the task assigned to me by the adults, and I can't split myself. I give you these blood essences. Your strength will be greatly enhanced, and even demigods are not invincible. The black-robed man glanced at the subordinates in front of him with grim eyes. He had just returned from the 3rd and 4th generals, who gave him a task, so he had no time to find Yunfan now. He could only send his own men to go, and in order to increase the success rate, he could successfully kill the man who killed his son. He didn't care about much. Taking out the blood essence from the suppressed Destruction Clan would have a great impact on his refining of the Destruction Scepter, but in order to avenge his son, he chose to do so. If I could not split myself, why would I waste this blood essence? The black robe said, remember, if you are really not his opponent, just inject this blood essence directly into his body. He will definitely be corroded by this blood essence of destruction. Once the blood essence of destruction enters his body, it is almost impossible to remove it without the help of my people to refine it. Even if he is a demigod, he will definitely die. The black robe subordinates nodded hurriedly. You know, except when they began to transform into the Destruction Clan, the black robe gave them a drop of blood essence. Now they actually saw this blood essence again. If they refined this blood essence, their strength would definitely be greatly improved. So they decided not to use this blood essence until it was absolutely necessary. Remember, these are rewards for you. Whether you can keep the rewards I gave you depends on you. The black robe said. If we go together, we are still sure. The Destruction Clan present looked at each other and said, go. The black-robed man's eyes fell on the guy from the Destruction Clan who was suppressed under the boulder, and then he turned his eyes to the Destruction Scepter that was being refined. Countless undead spirits appeared from time to time on the Destruction Scepter, screaming and roaring at the black-robed man. The black-robed man had no expression on his face and his eyes were extremely cold. Several members of the Destruction Clan retreated respectfully, and then walked along the quiet path they came from, back to the cave, where they were originally. Everyone, where do you think we should go to find that boy? Wu Yu asked faintly, and the voice was still very unpleasant, like a man and a woman's voice intertwined, with a very strange and weird tone. However, his current condition is much better than at the beginning, and the destructive aura that Yunfan eliminated has also recovered a lot. You are the only one among us who has seen that boy. You, a guy who is neither male nor female, should know where that boy is best. What if I say your current condition is much worse than before? Are you still my opponent now? A member of the Destruction Clan who originally had a bad relationship with May and the others said directly with contempt. Don't think that you can stand on my head just because I'm injured. You were not my opponent before, and you can't be our opponent now. How about we have a showdown to see who is better? Okay, what time is it now? You still have time to quarrel here. Hurry up and think about how to find that boy. Otherwise, the anger of the adults is not something we can bear. Haggis is right. The anger of the adults is not something we can bear. Several people shuddered. John, after dealing with that boy, May glanced viciously at the Destruction Clan who had a bad relationship with him. Okay, now everyone, tell us what you think of that boy. That guy is indeed very strong, and his methods are very strange. May said with lingering fear. You are the only one among us who has contact with him. Tell us where you think that guy is now. We are not like the boss, who has a special tracking talent. We can track the boy's whereabouts by sensing a little breath from May. When I met him, he was with a human team. It seemed that he was heading towards the ancestral land of the human race. May said after thinking for a moment. If he really reaches the ancestral land of the human race, this matter may be difficult to handle. The several members of the Destruction Clan present fell into a brief silence. In the underground world, although the human race has always been in a weak position, it is not without resistance. Most of the human race's combat power is in the ancestral land, and even their adults dare not act rashly. This is just a guess. Besides, hasn't our master been planning to attack the ancestral land? If that boy is really in the ancestral land, we will tell the master the news. For our plan to destroy the entire clan, I don't think the master will punish us. Before that, we must first make sure whether the boy is already in the ancestral land. Leave this matter to May. Among the 6 of us, only he can sneak into the ancestral land of the human race without being noticed. What's more, this matter was caused by May. May's face looked a little ugly, and the other party was telling the truth. Among the 6 people present, he was the most special one, in the state of soul, without a physical body, and could hide himself very well. Chapter 525 Sneak Attack. But the ancestral land of the human race is not comparable to other places. There are many demigod masters there. If you are not careful, you may be discovered. He does not think he can escape from the hands of the demigods, but now he is helpless. You are really good. He knew that he had to agree or not. If he did not agree, the guys present would tell others about his instigation of the boss. At that time, the big man above him would not know how to treat him. Yunfan was arranged in a special VIP room, but no one told him that he could treat the injury of the ancestor of the human race. It has been 3 days since Yunfan helped the ancestor to treat the injury. The water, fire, yin and yang Teikai diagram surrounded Yunfan. Yunfan's sea of consciousness was being deduced at a high speed. One by one, the trajectory models of the rules appeared in the sea of consciousness, and the composition of the rules was constantly changing. In this crazy research, Yunfan's understanding of the rules and regulations was also constantly improving. Yunfan suddenly felt palpitations. This is what is often called the sixth sense on Earth. After Yunfan came to the mainland, he had solved many crises with this sixth sense, and as his mental strength gradually grew stronger, he felt as if he had reached the so-called state of knowing one's destiny on Earth. Sometimes, one can sense the terrible danger that is about to come, and this time the feeling was even stronger than the last time. Yunfan had actually sensed a little bit of the law of fate. Among all the laws in this world, only fate is the most unpredictable. What's going on? The induction from heaven tells me that there will be a crisis. This is the ancestral land of the human race. Is there anyone who wants to harm me? Danger? Yunfan opened his eyes and looked around. Suddenly, there was a space fluctuation in front of him, and a big hole was opened in the space. At the same time, a middle-aged man in a black robe appeared in front of him, and then a dagger instantly enveloped him. HMPH. Fortunately, he reacted very quickly. When he felt the crisis, he had taken out the Daoluo sword from the space ring. Facing the sudden dagger, Yunfan directly used the Daoluo sword in his hand to resist, and knocked the dagger to the ground in an instant. Bang! Then the man took out another strange item, and threw it directly at Yunfan. After the Daoluo sword in Yunfan's hand collided with each other, it seemed that something exploded. Yunfan then noticed that the other party threw a porcelain bottle, which was directly broken at the moment of contact. Seeing the porcelain bottle shattered, the extremely terrible crisis that the heavenly man sensed in the dark became stronger, and Yunfan's face changed. What the hell is in the bottle? Yunfan is not a fool. If someone comes to assassinate him, he will definitely not throw an empty bottle. The middle-aged man in the distance wanted to open the space crack at the moment the porcelain bottle exploded. How could Yunfan let the other party escape from here? His mental power instantly communicated with the surrounding space magic element, directly blocking the middle-aged man's escape route. Who are you? Why do you come to kill me? Yunfan was very surprised. Judging from the breath of the middle-aged man in front of him, the other party was definitely not an alien race or a destroyer. He has not offended any human race since he came to the underground world and even saved many human lives. He couldn't figure out why the other party came to assassinate him. And what is in this bottle? Yunfan was uneasy. To be honest, his heart was full of too many unknowns. The other party didn't seem to want to answer his questions. He took out a dagger from somewhere in his hand and was facing him from a distance. Suddenly, Yunfan felt a tingling sensation all over his body. His face turned pale, and the King Dao key in his body immediately began to search his whole body, but it seemed that he could not find any problems. However, his body was gradually tingling, and he could not stop it at all. Even his head was aching. Damn, what is going on? What should I do? Am I poisoned? My Dao seems to be unable to sense it. Yunfan's face became even paler. Since he came to the mainland, he felt that he had been particularly careful. Professionals have different means. The opponent plays some dirty tricks. No matter how good you are in fighting, others will not fight you at all and directly use some means that you can't limit. This is the reality of this world. No one knows what means there will be. The middle-aged man did not expect that Yunfan actually had some means. He actually discovered his existence in advance when he was assassinating him, which made his assassination fail. He even caused a huge noise when he resisted. Many people were alarmed by the hot noise, and they hurried over here. Simon, what are you doing in the guest's room? And you're holding a weapon. The first to enter Yunfan's room were several guards from the human patrol. He recognized the identity of the suicide at a glance and asked loudly. However, the middle-aged man seemed not to hear his question and was ready to attack Yunfan again at any time. Who can tell me what's going on? Just as this confrontation took place, the Great Elder had already walked in. Ha ha ha. A smug laugh suddenly came from outside the door. The voice was extremely strange, eerie and terrifying, and it was even impossible to tell whether it was a man or a woman. Boy, even if you are as talented as a demon, you will definitely die. Yunfan's face was ugly because he had heard this voice before. The destruction clan in the soul state. The pain in his own body made him feel vaguely that the other party was using strange means to gradually and continuously erode his whole body. Although the erosion was very slow, it was a real existence. What's your relationship with the guys from the destruction clan? Yunfan asked. Do you mean you have betrayed the human race? Simon, tell me what's going on. I'm sorry, Great Elder. Although the middle-aged man showed guilt on his face, he still ran towards Yunfan. When he got in front of Yunfan, he stabbed out with the dagger in his hand. How dare you? The Great Elder's face suddenly changed. He used all his strength in an instant and slapped the middle-aged man away before he could stop him. Do you know what you are doing, you bastard? I'm sorry, Great Elder. Wait until I kill him. I will die to apologize. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.